Welcome back to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And we are at NFL Draft Eve, which means we are one day away from the 2025 NFL Draft. So hopefully you guys will join us tomorrow for our first round coverage of the draft. We're going to have Amanda Foster joining us. She's going to be doing a lot of great giveaways. We're going to do some great Cowboys talk. We're going to give you guys all the news and notes leading up to the Cowboys pick. But before we do that, tonight is mock draft Wednesday. So we are going to do a couple of mock drafts for you guys, get your guys' thoughts on what's going to happen with the Cowboys. I know there are a lot of rumors that are being spread. So if you got questions about any rumors, we'll be more than happy to talk to you guys about those as well. Joining me tonight, you guys see him in the comments all the time. One of my longtime friends, one of the short list of people that I trust when it comes to talking Cowboys. Got my guy Jeffrey Dunnigan joining us. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on, Marcus? Nice to be here tonight, man.
You put that comment in the private chat instead of the overall comments. Just FYI.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we got whatever the F I want joining us. Thank you for joining. Michael Julius Gordon, Old Bridge, New Jersey. Got a Cowboy fan in Giants country. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Hopefully you come back and continue to join us.
And whatever the F I want, that's my cousin from Chicago.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
my cousin
bear
Pete.
down. Bear down. Hopefully you guys don't take Jenny before us. All right, so we got these views climbing pretty quick. Got quite a few people watching us from the DC4L Facebook group. Quite a few people joining from X. So for you guys who are not watching on the DC4L group, make sure when you get a chance, go over to Facebook, find DC4L, 4 letters, 3 letters, 1 number, not hard to find. Great content, a lot of great dialogue, a lot of giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, Amanda just posted in DC4L tonight. We are doing a top 10 giveaway. So she made a post. All you got to do is go on the post, give us your top 10 picks for tomorrow, 1 through 10. Whoever gets the most right will win a Dallas Cowboys jersey. So for you guys who are not part of DC4L, make sure you go over to Facebook, find DC4L, become a part of that giveaway. Also, be sure to join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We're going to be doing some more giveaways and prizes during the draft as well. All right, so we got Jeff Clark joining us. Jeff Clark, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your support. Tonight is Mock Draft Wednesday. So what we're going to do tonight is, because most people that we see just say who the Cowboys are going to pick. They don't give the lead in into who we think the other teams are going to pick to show who's going to be available for Dallas. So what Jeff and I are going to do tonight, we're going to do our own mock draft of the top 11. And to make it interesting, we're going to alternate picks. We have not talked about this beforehand. So whatever pick Jeff says, I got to come off top of the head and figure out who's left. Same thing for him. At the end of the 11, we're both going to pick who we think the Dallas Cowboys are going to pick, and you guys in the comments can join us as well. Sally Prieto. I know I probably butchered that, but I appreciate you joining us. Do I think we're going to do good in the draft? Jeff, what do you think? Before we get into the draft, how do you think the new coaches and from the sound bite you in, how you think we're going to do in the draft tomorrow?
Well, first of all, this year we've done something that I've been begging for us to do for years. We've made a lot of signings, a lot of trades, not real sexy picks, but we have filled a lot of holes. And I think we've really set ourselves up to definitely pause moment. I think we set ourselves up to really go best player available. We're not really going in with, I mean, we have a few needs, but it's not over the top needs.
Mm-hmm.
So Like I said, I love what we've done so far. I still think we're gonna do a little bit more for his free agency. I don't know if you guys have heard. Um, Gilmore was in the building this week. Uh, Makes me feel a little good, but it kind of leads me to believe that Diggs is nowhere near ready.
Yeah.
So that lets me know that cornerback is on our mind as far as the draft or free agency. But I mean, I really think that we've set ourselves up to really go best player available and really improve the team.
Yeah, I agree completely. Uh, Let me check something really quick because you brought up Diggs was there, not Diggs, Gilmore.
Uh-huh.
Gilmore played for who last year?
Didn't he play for
Vikings.
Minnesota? Yes, I think
Okay.
he played for Minnesota.
So I just want to look. So he's a free agent, which means if the Cowboys were to sign him, it would count against our compensatory picks. So my
Right.
guess is they brought him in, did a little workout with him, gauge his interest, and if we don't get what we want in the draft, come Monday at 8 a.m., we're probably gonna sign him. That's just my thought.
Oh, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't think this was a come in and sign that day. I think the fact that he even entertained coming in on Tuesday should
Hmm.
let us know that there's still some interest on both sides. And just because the Cowboys love those compensatory picks, they're not going to risk giving one away to sign Gilmore.
Right. And like I said, the bad news is that lets us know that Diggs
Yeah.
probably is not ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bad news to it. So all Cowboy fans that want to see Diggs and Bland together, probably not going to happen the first
Yeah.
part of this season.
At a minimum, yeah.
Right.
All right, we got Marlo joining us, Jeff's brother, another diehard Cowboys fan. So appreciate you joining us tonight, Marlo. This is an interactive show. Chris Woods, thank you for joining us tonight. So we want to hear your questions. We want to hear your comments. We want to get your thoughts. Let us know who you are, where you're joining us from, how long you've been a Cowboys fan. Let us know your thoughts as we go through our mock draft. So first off, Jeff, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Oh, it's your show. I'll go second.
All right.
Unless you want me to go first. But
I haven't I
okay.
haven't
Well,
thought about it, so I don't
okay.
care which way we go. All
Okay.
right,
All
so
right.
it's gonna get more difficult as we go through the numbers. So I guess I will start off. All
Okay.
right, so first pick, Tennessee Titans on the clock. And again, guys, let us know your thoughts on what we're about to go through. First pick, Tennessee Titans. This one is pretty much a no-brainer. So let's go ahead and cue the music. First pick, Tennessee Titans, Cam Ward. Quarterback Miami all day.
Well, you made that one really hard. Oh.
No suspense to build on that one. So
None whatsoever.
the second pick is where it gets interesting to me because we got the Cleveland Browns on the clock. They got a ton of needs. Everywhere pretty much except for defensive end would be a legitimate pick for them. So, Jeff, what direction do you think the Cleveland Browns go? And what pick do you think they take?
Uh, well, I think with the second pick, Cleveland's going to have to take Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Probably the most athletic player besides Abdul Carter in this draft. I would love to see Abdul go there, but I don't think with Myles Garrett being there and the money they have allocated to him, and then their defense, they just plug anybody else in, and it pretty much works on the defense. But I think they can't pass up on a talent like Travis Hunter, and they can play him at receiver and corner. I probably would play him at corner personally, and then throw him in on a few surprise plays at
Yeah.
receiver, and I roll with that. So second pick, you get the most athletic guy in the draft, Travis Hunter.
All right. So second pick, Cleveland Browns, Travis Hunter, arguably the best player in this year's draft. Got a couple people saying I agree. Marlo, we're gonna go through this once we do our mock draft. So I got your question highlighted.
You can unhighlight that question.
Johnny Dan Alanese, longtime viewer, goes all the way back to the old show. So I always appreciate you joining us and tuning in. I see Jeff's uncle got his pick for 12 already, so we'll get there in a second. Third pick, I think this is another no-brainer. Going to the New York Giants, another team with a ton of needs, except for and this one's strange because to me,
right,
there's one position on that team that does not lack talent, and that's defensive end. They got the kid they drafted a couple years ago.
Thibodeau.
And then they just paid Brian. They just traded for Brian Burns and paid him a ton of money. So they have probably a top 4 defensive end starting group. But when you look at the draft, I mean, Abdul Carter's a blinking light.
Yes.
One of the most athletic defensive ends we've seen since Michael Parsons, another Penn State guy. Sometimes you just got to take the pick and figure it out later. So, going with the third pick. New York Giants, defensive end, Abdul Carter. Look for Thibodeau to get traded shortly after the draft.
Yeah, but in the meantime, if you have a history with the Giants, you know they love those NASCAR packages where they used to play 4 defensive ends. I could easily see them with their talent going back to a NASCAR package easily.
Yeah, because you got Abdul Carter who can stand up like Michael Parsons, and maybe they'll do what we should have been doing, where you let your premier pass rusher stand up and blitz from the middle and take advantage of a slow center. So we could see some of that as well. But, I mean, you can't pass up on Abdul Carter when he's on the board because you never know when a player like that is going to be available for you again.
And I will say this, if they do pass up on Abdul Carter, expect some trades. Somebody's trading up to get him. Somebody.
Yeah. Or it's an option that he may go to the next team on the board, which is number 4. Jeff, so you got the pick, New England Patriots. Just signed a new coach. So the coach is all about smash mouth, running the ball. From Tennessee, they built from the inside out, big offensive line, big running back, big defensive line. They love to stick with the trenches. But, again, New England has no weapons. Where do you think the New England Patriots go? Well, let me ask you this question before you answer who you think. What would you say would be like the 3 biggest needs for the Patriots, just roughly?
To me, they don't really have a receiver that stands out.
I agree with that.
I mean, they got a bunch of Jags, just guys. But I've seen offenses work before with a bunch of Jags. They could go. I just think receiver is not a receiver to me that just stand out and pop in the top 5 like that. So
I agree.
I think that sticking with what you said, they like to build in the trenches. They just traded Joe Milton. Sorry, I said Mitchell. Joe Milton away. So that means they pretty much giving the key to May. So now you got to protect the franchise because that's obviously who you ride your franchise with. So with the 4th pick, I think they'll take Will Campbell and give May some protection. They can get there's a lot of weapons in this draft, so I think they'll go Will Campbell.
All right, 4th pick is in. Fourth pick, Jeff has the New England Patriots. Offensive tackle, Will Campbell. I don't know if you were looking at the comments, Jeff, but everybody was saying Will Campbell while you were talking.
I actually didn't look at the comments. I just looked down.
So it looks like, well, at least we're on track so far. I think this is where we're going to start to lose them at because I'm going to tell you like this. I'm not trying to hold Genty until 12. I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic.
I will say within the next 3 picks, I think Genty will be gone.
Yeah. Okay, so it's on me now. It's on me now with the 5th pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. Another team They just paid their quarterback. They gave him the keys to the car. They got a lot of needs, to me, in my opinion. Secondary is good. Linebackers are great. Outside of that, they got ATN. Tank kind of stepped up a little bit last year. Do
He
they need
did.
another running back? I don't know. ATN, former first round pick, got 2 more years on that deal. I'm leaning Genty on this one.
I am
But
too.
here's what my concern is. And I've seen a lot of people mocking Tet to the Jaguars.
Right.
I don't see that one because they just got the kid from LSU, Brian Thomas, last year, balled out. They just paid Gabe Davis. They just signed De'Ami Brown from Washington after their great playoff run. So they're good at wide receiver.
Right.
I think I might throw a wrench in this one.
Okay. Well, if you throw a wrench in, I know where my next pick going.
So you say it's your cousin, your uncle in Chicago?
Whatever the F I want, that's my first cousin,
Okay.
D.
So your cousin has Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan. Chris Woods has Genty, the running back. I'm leaning Mason. This one, I'm leaning. I don't think it's Green, Marlo. And the reason I say that, they got 2 first-round picks at defensive end right now. They got Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen, defensive end. He had 9 sacks last year. And then 2 years ago, they drafted Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. He had 9 sacks last year. So they're good at end. They have Armstead. Would they draft Mason Graham to pair with Armstead? That's my question. They just got a new coach. He's going to want to put his stamp on it.
I mean, I don't think they could go wrong if they draft Mason Graham. I mean, who wouldn't want to fortify their front four?
I think they go offensive weapon.
Okay.
I'm going out of left field on this one. So I know the fans gonna kill me. I think they go Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State.
Real left field.
I think they go Tyler Warren. It might be a trade back, but they just let go of Evan Ingram.
Right.
The coach is an offensive guy. I think they want to load up on weapons. Now I could lean the other tackle, but I think they go tight end. I'm really feeling like they're gonna go tight end right here. So with the 5th pick, I'm going tight end, Tyler Warren, Penn State.
Okay. I could definitely see that. They're investing in the quarterback.
Yep.
Although I could, if Campbell is there, I could easily see them go. Well, I'm not gonna say that.
If Campbell's there, they're taking Campbell though. I see that.
Right. Yes, because they want to try to protect the franchise. But for those of you who said Genty there, I want to know your thoughts on saying Genty to the Jaguars.
Yeah, me too.
Like you said, they had Tank there. They kind of crept up. I still think ETN got a little bit in the tank, and they don't need neither one of them to be a bell cow, so to speak. I kind of like running back by committee as long as everybody bring a different ability to the backfield. But I would like to know what was the thought process behind saying Genty at 5.
So I see we got 1% they ain't taking the tight end. I will remind you that the Raiders took a tight end last year, and their tight end was top 10 in the NFL in receiving yards and receptions, and he was number 1 among all rookies. considering Brian Thomas and the wide receiver from the Giants had monster years. This is a
And not,
copycat league. When teams see one guy and everybody's saying around the board, Tyler Warren is the best tight end we've seen since Kyle Pitts. So if he's a weapon and you're an offensive guy and you want to help your quarterback, I think there's a chance that he could be the pick.
right, and he would create mismatch because you got to have your attention to Thomas.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis is going to have his blow up games, but I didn't see that before now. But I definitely can see that, especially with them letting Evan Ingram go. I can definitely see that.
I wanted to throw a monkey wrench in there somewhere. I didn't see one before 12, and this is the only spot.
Yep, there's definitely a monkey wrench.
All right, so now that we've recovered, let's go to the 6 picks. Jeff, it's on you. Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
What are the
All right.
just got a new coach and Pete Carroll? We know what Pete Carroll likes. Cover 3 defense, run the ball on offense.
Right.
What you think?
As much as I would love for them to leave this guy here, we just said that Cleveland took probably the most athletic person in the draft at number 2. So now you have your second most probably pro-ready player that's available. And I don't think you can pass this talent up. We know what Pete Carroll like to do. Think back to his Marshawn Lynch days. He wants to run the ball. So with that being said, he take arguably probably the best running back in the draft, and he's going to take Genty.
Okay. All right, so pick is in. 6th pick. Jeff has the Las Vegas Raiders taking Ashton Genty. I don't think there's any more argument there. He's probably the 3rd best player in the draft. Like I said, Pete Carroll likes to run the ball. You look at the past 5 years in Seattle. Who did they take? They traded for Marshawn Lynch. They drafted
Ken Walker.
They drafted Kenneth Walker in the first. They just drafted
Charbonnet. They drafted him.
Yeah, Charbonnet. And who was the first round pick before Kenneth Walker? He flamed out real quick with injuries.
Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny. So in the past 5 years, Penny, Walker, Charbonnet traded for Lynch. He has a type of back that he likes, and Ashton Genty falls right in line with those type of backs. I could have seen. Go ahead.
I just say I see D's comment. That would be absolutely heaven if they took Kevin Banks right there, because that increases our chances to get Genty if they take Banks there. But I don't think they do it.
I was just about to say I could see them going offensive line and getting another back later in the draft. You're right. Pete does have a top 5 offensive line, but he also has a certain type of running back too. See, we got Jack Meeker joining us. Jack Meeker, appreciate you tuning in.
What's up, Jack?
Marlon said Genty to the Raiders also. All right, so we are at the 7th pick and New York Jets. Now, the Jets are good on defense. I can't see them going any defensive player. Defensive line's good. Linebackers are okay. Cornerbacks are great. Solid safeties. Mason Graham is still on the board, right? Best defensive tackle in the draft. I don't think the Jets need him. I think we stick to the offensive side of the ball. So right here, and what's your cousin's name again, Jeff? Because I'm not gonna call him this.
His name D.
D. If I didn't take Warren with the Jags, I would have definitely had him right here. So we're on the same wavelength, but I just feel like the Jags may have gone a little early. I think they have to go offensive line. Tyron Smith just retired. I don't know who they have on their roster right now on the offensive line. So we're between Banks and Mimbu at this point. Personally, I think Mimbu was a guard. When I look at Mimbu, I think Mimbu is Tyler Smith, but he needs 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Smith only needed 1 year to become Tyler Smith. I think Mimbu will need two. I
Okay.
think Calvin Banks is the pure tackle. So with the seventh pick, I'm going Banks, tackle, Texas.
Okay.
All right.
No argument so far.
So still got Mason Graham on the board, top defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Still got Ted on the board. None of the corners have been taken yet. I'm just giving a recap. Only one defensive end. Only one quarterback. So we're not doing any trades. So the next pick is the Carolina Panthers. You can scratch quarterback off their list. Jeff, I don't know where the Panthers go. If it wasn't Jacksonville for me, it would have been the Panthers pick that I would have probably gone left field somewhere. So I'm interested to get your thoughts.
Well, with the picks left, we look at Bryce Young. He came on last year. He had a pretty decent year. We know running back there good. I mean, Chuba came out of nowhere, had 1,000 yards. I don't forget how many touchdowns, but he came out, so running back is out of the question there. I can see them going several routes. I can see them giving Bryce Young another weapon. I can see them giving him some more protection. And I could see them going defense. I mean, I know they just signed J.C. Horn to a deal. I have no idea who their other corner is. You still got the top corner on the board still left. But I'm saving him for another pick. I don't know if that pick is going to fall on me. So,
Okay.
unfortunately, guys, I think this is where Tet is going to come off the board at.
Okay. So the other corner for the Panthers is Michael Jackson. Actually, the corner we drafted about 5 years ago, went to Seattle, balled out, just got a big contract from the Panthers.
Yeah, so that takes corner out of the equation for them as well.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, guys, I would love for this not to happen tomorrow.
Okay.
But I think Ted is staring them right in the face. But I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to go offensive line right here because previous to Bryce Young doing what he did, he ran for his life. And he still kind of ran for his life. He kind of made do and made better reads and decisions.
Teams got to protect their quarterbacks.
You know what? I'm a whole lot of hope. And I'm going to say they're going to pass on Ted and they're going to go Mimbu.
Okay. All right. 8th pick is in. Jeff has the Carolina Panthers taking Mimbu from Missouri. I'm going to be honest, Jeff. That's what I had too.
Okay. I mean, they could another team that could go several routes, but when you have a quarterback and you settle on that quarterback, you're going to want to protect that guy, especially on a rookie deal. You're going to try to max out as much time as you can get before you decide if you want to pay him a big contract. So I don't think they could have went wrong with Ted. I definitely don't think they could have went wrong with offensive line, but I think with what Bryce Young showed toward the end of the year when he got the starting job back, I think they want to continue protecting him. And, you know, protection is just like a weapon as well.
Yep. So right here, your cousin D had Jalen Walker. I was coin flip Mimbu and Walker. I could see either one of those because they don't have good defensive ends. They got the two best defensive tackle combo in the league, but they don't have good defensive ends. But like you said, they got to protect the quarterback. Chuba Hubbard just got paid. They just brought in Rico Dowdle. So the backs they got are big physical backs. You need guys who can block from guard, center, guard. And Mimbu is is definitely the best one in the draft this year who can block. The only reason I wouldn't have taken Tet right here is because they love Xavier Leggett.
I forgot they had him.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
drafted him last year. The fan base loves him. The media loves him. The coaches and the owners love him. Him and Ted are the same guy to me.
Right.
I don't see how you can make those two work together. And then they drafted another kid last year named Jalen Coker. And he put Mingo on the bench, Jonathan Mingo.
And unfortunately, he failed to us.
He failed to us, yeah. So they got two rookies. Both of them are 6'4", 215, 22 years old. They got two Tets already. A third one will be overkill because neither one of them can play the slot. And I think they really like Coker. So hopefully that falls out for us tomorrow too. Right. I see we got Amanda joining us. Thank you for joining us in the comments. Marlo Green was definitely an option right there. Like we said, defensive ends are terrible in Carolina. All right, so we are at pick 9. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Again, this is an interactive show. So for you guys watching, be sure to get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on who we're picking. Let us know what you think Dallas is going to do. Ask us any questions about any rumors that you heard. All right, so pick 9. I think I may throw another monkey wrench in right here too, Jeff. We'll see.
There's no way you can throw a monkey wrench. I'm just going to say it like this. There's no way they go through another year of Derek Carr. No way.
Hey, Jeff, it's my pick.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'll be quiet.
All right, so New Orleans Saints started off hot last year. Blazing hot. And then they fizzled away quick.
I think I know where you're going with this pick.
No, you don't.
Okay. I know what could happen, but I'm gonna see what you're gonna say.
I think the defense is still good. They still got good corners. They still got good defensive ends. They just signed Chase Young. They still got Cam Jordan. So defense is good. Love all their corners. So it's not defensive side of the ball. Go to the offensive side of the ball. They got a lot of young guys on the offensive line. Trevor Penning, tackle a couple years ago. They drafted Fuaga last year. They're good at tackles. So we won't see who's the other tackle left? Simmons. So I don't think this is Simmons. If I didn't take the tight end at 5, I would have taken him here.
Definitely. Right.
There's a lot of talk about Colton Lovelace, the tight end from Michigan. I don't see it. I think this is too early for him. Let me just stop lying. They taking Shedeur. They ain't going through another year Derek Carr.
No, they can't.
Score nothing last year.
Yeah.
What did you think I was going?
I'm going to be honest. I actually could have seen Tet right there. They could have went in the mode to try to get them another Mike Thomas. I knew you were going Sanders. I think the whole world knows that. Although I'm not a Saints fan, and I would hate for Shedeur to be there because then we got to listen to Marlon in the chat the whole time. But it's no way. If Sanders there, they going Sanders. No way they're going to pass him up.
Yep. So, pick is in. Yep. New Orleans Saints, Shedeur Sanders. I mean, it all adds up. Dion wants him in a dome. Dion knows the area. They got some weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
They just got to put it together. They got to run it back, catch out the backfield. All 3 receivers are speed guys. They built pretty much exactly like Colorado was in terms of the offensive skill players. And the colors are similar.
Didn't think about that either.
Yeah. I think it should do it to the Saints all the way.
Yeah, no arguments here.
Yeah. I could see Ted. I could see if they took them, but I don't think they would. I think they
No.
like I think they like speed receivers there. I think they want all speed.
And then when that news came out about Derek Carr, I think
Yeah.
that pretty much sold it. Yeah, they can't go in like you said. Spencer Rattler didn't show them anything last year, so there's no way they can go in feeling comfortable with what they got.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, hey, for all you Dak haters, we could always trade Dak. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can eat $80 million in cap space.
Yeah, that won't happen. Just thought I'd throw something out there to rattle the crowd.
All right, so I know your cousin D is sitting up in his chair now because Jeff, you got the 10th pick, Chicago Bears. You better make it good, or I think he might throw something at his screen.
Hey, that's his screen. He cracked. He ain't mine. All right.
What you thinking?
I
Help
like
us
what
out, D.
I like what I seen from them on offense. I do think they could get better on offensive line.
They did just sign 2 guards. Remember that?
Oh well, they already better then. Okay. All right.
It still need a left tackle though. Just my opinion.
I don't really see a left. Take a look before I say that. I don't know if I see anybody as a left tackle. What's the top tackle left? According to what
me, it's Josh Simmons, Ohio State.
Okay.
To me, that's the best tackle available. They got a new coach from Detroit. They drafted heavy on the offensive line and running back. Is Mason Graham is still on the board.
Well, I definitely think they're going defense. I'm just stuck between D tackle and D end.
Okay. At
playing
defensive end, they do got Montez Sweat. I don't know who the other end is. Okay. They just signed Grady Jarrett too, but I don't think he would affect them drafting a tackle if he wanted one.
Let me see what Deedon said in this. He said 3 All Pros on the offensive line.
Yeah, they signed 2 All Pros at guard.
Okay.
From Joe Tooney and I think it's the guard from the Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, being what division they're in, you have to play against quarterbacks like Jordan Love. I was gonna say Stafford. That's not Stafford. Jared Goff. Yeah, you got to get some pressure on these quarterbacks. So I think you're gonna pair up a D end.
Okay.
With Montez Sweat, and you're gonna go ahead and take Mike Green here.
Mike Green. Okay. All right, D, the resident Bears fan. Let us know what you think in the comments. With the 10th pick, Jeff just picked Mike Green. Any thought about going walk over Green right there?
I wouldn't argue against it. I think, to me, Green kind of reminds me of the DeMarcus Ware story, coming from a smaller school and make a big impact. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to say that. I just said we'll stick with Green.
Okay. Now, your cousin said we signed a defensive end from the Colts. I don't know who that is. Let me know what his name is.
For $50 million.
Because I know they just signed Montez Sweat. I don't know the other defensive end.
I don't think the Colts had a D end that worth $50 million.
I don't either.
Let me see here.
Let me Google real quick. They signed Dayo Odeyingbo. 3 years, $48 million.
Overpaid.
He had 3 sacks last year.
Overpaid.
That one's kind of questionable. And
Very.
he's 286. He might play three tech, so you never know. They might play him at three tech in Chicago. 6'6", 286. He could play three tech.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I know they signed Grady Jarrett. I don't think the other defensive tackle is somebody who's just a lock to start.
Right.
Jervon Dexter Sr., second round pick. I can see the guy they just signed playing defensive tackle at three tech, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at their signings. Yeah.
So you sticking with Mike Green, or you want to change it?
I'm gonna stick with Mike Green.
Okay. All right. So we got one pick left before we get to Dallas.
Please throw a Rich in the game in this one because I I hope the 49ers take Mr. Irrelevant right here. I hate the 49ers. Sorry, 49er fans. But I know where it's going. It's obvious where they're going if the
I
draft
don't think
falls
it's
like it is.
obvious. I don't think it's obvious.
Have you seen their defense? Yes, it's obvious where they're going.
I don't think it's obvious, Jeff.
Okay,
So
let me hear what you got to say.
looking at the Niners, I could see them where you took Mimble off the board. I was gonna say I could see them drafting an heir apparent to Trent Williams because I think his time running thin.
Right.
If Warren was still here, I could see them drafting an heir apparent to George Kittle because his time running thin. But unfortunately, both of them are gone. So we go to the defensive side of the ball.
Of course.
I gotta make it sound good, Jeff. I can't just let you pick my picks for me. So
I'm not gonna pick them.
We go to the defensive side of the ball. To me, outside of Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, they can replace everybody. So it's pretty much a crapshoot. You want the best cornerback, you want the third best defensive end, you want the best defensive tackle. It's dealer's choice. Based off of, I would lean Will Johnson right here, the cornerback from Michigan. But
exactly what I'm leaning.
That's who I'm leaning towards. But I look at who the defensive coordinator is, Robert Saleh, and Robert Saleh is an inside-out type defensive coordinator, and they give him a lot of leeway. And the best defensive tackle is still on the board. So for me, I'm leaning between: do I want to get the best defensive tackle on the board, or do I want to get the best cornerback on the board?
Okay.
It's a coin flip for me.
Well, I tell you what, if you go anything other than corner, it's gonna make Dallas pick real interesting at 12. With the news about Diggs, and then you got Gilly coming in, and then let me just stop before we'll wait before we get there. Let's see what you're gonna pick first.
So I'm looking. To me, it's still a coin flip. He did just leave the Jets. They had Sauce Gardner. The traits are almost identical. The production might not be, but the traits between Johnson and Sauce are almost identical. Oh, man.
As a Cowboy fan, we're hoping they miss.
I'm going Mason Graham. Pick locked in. '49ers take defensive tackle Mason Graham out of Michigan, top-rated defensive tackle in the draft. Most people had him projected as a top 5 pick. He slides to 11. Defensive coordinator, loves to build inside out. You get the top defensive tackle, maybe he helps get that pass rush going, and the cornerbacks that they have, maybe they can step up, or maybe they go outside and pick up some corners in free agency. So 11th pick, Mason Graham. D had Shamar Stewart right here. Personally, I don't like Shamar Stewart. I could see it because of the traits. Marlowe had Walker, defensive end. I could see that as an option also because Nick Bosa did miss a lot of games. And the tackle, the end opposite him is nobody special. They can't be replaced.
Mhm.
I just think they build inside out. They don't have a good defensive tackle. I think this gives them a cornerstone piece to go from defensive tackle and then kind of build the rest of the team. Give your linebacker some help, help those pass rushers. All right, so let's do a quick recap. We're at
Yep.
46 minutes, guys. I see the views are still holding steady, so thank you everybody who's joining us. Get in those comments. Let us know what you think about everybody we've picked so far. Who did you pick at the 10th pick, Jeff? Hold on.
Mike Green.
I'm short somewhere. Okay, never mind.
Okay. If this draft fall like this tomorrow, it's gonna be real interesting what Dallas does with the 12th
Uh-huh.
pick.
All
Really
right, so
interesting.
let me give you guys a quick recap of what we've done so far. Let me know what you guys think. With the first pick, Titans took Cam Ward. Second pick, we had Travis Hunter going to the Browns. Third pick, Abdul Carter to the Giants. Fourth pick, tackle Will Campbell to the Patriots. Fifth pick, Tyler Warren, tight end, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sixth pick, Ashton Genty to the Raiders. Seventh pick, the other tackle, Kelvin Banks, to the Jets. Eighth pick, Mimbu, guard / tackle, to the Panthers. Ninth pick, Shadur Sanders to the Saints. 10th pick, Mike Green, defensive end, to the Bears. 11th pick, the Niners take Mason Graham. So, Jeff, I already know the obvious one, but if there were two picks out of these top 11 that you think could be changed to something different, what teams would they be in, and who do you think they go with? I
Well,
already
you
know
said,
the Jags is one of them, so let me
well,
know who you think.
I would think the 49ers.
Okay.
I'm not arguing with what you said because Salah do like to build from the outside, from the inside out.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they can pass it. To me, their secondary has always been the weakness on the 49ers defense, to
Mhm.
me, just always. And they had Travers Ward, which is another Cowboy that we let go too soon, but that's another
Mhm.
subject. Um, but although when he was there, it still was a weakness in the secondary. So I think that just by history, you can't pass up, or it'll be hard to pass. I'm not gonna say you can't pass up. It'll be hard to pass up the
I don't know if that's me or you that's frozen.
it looked like my screen it went out, but
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yeah. The last thing you
Yeah,
said, you can't pass by the top, and then it cut out.
yeah. I don't know if you could pass by the top corner on a corner needy team.
Okay.
I
I
just
agree
don't
with
think
that.
so.
So when I look at the history of the Niners, when I look at when Salah was with the Niners as the defensive coordinator, he
Right.
was there for 5 years. Three
Mm-hmm.
of his 5 picks were Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, and Solomon Thomas. All of them were defensive tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you throw in Javon Kinlaw from 3 years ago. So they have a history of going defensive tackle early. So
Right.
that's the only reason I picked Mason Graham. I agree with you. I'm just
Right.
going by the history of the team and that coach.
Right. No arguing with it.
All right. So we're at 50 minutes. We are now at pick 12 and the Dallas Cowboys on the clock. So now Jeff and I are both going to make our picks for the Cowboys. Before we do that, we're going to take a few minutes. Guys, everybody in the comments, just want to let you guys know, and Jeff, you can think about your pick while I talk.
Okay.
Be sure to join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We're going to do a mock draft show of the first round. We'll definitely go up to pick 12. We'll see how we feel after that. Or if Dallas trades back to see if we go through the entire first round. We're going to have Amanda Foster with us, the co-owner and creator of the DC4L Facebook group. She's already doing one giveaway for a free jersey. If you join the group and make your prediction for the top 10, we're going to have some more prizes that we're going to give away throughout the show as well. So make sure you guys join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time for our first round coverage of the NFL draft. And then on Friday night, you can find me with the guys from across the pond, the UK Cowboys. I'll be joining them for a few minutes to talk about the second and third rounds. And we'll have a good time over there as well. So we got a lot of draft content coming for you guys. So make sure you lock in with me at Bluff City Cowboys and with the Fifth Quarter Podcast powered by DC4L. All right, so we are at the 12th pick. Dallas Cowboys. Jeff, I've been doing a lot of talking. You know this team just as well as I do. You don't have to give me the pick. Just let me know your thoughts about the team and what directions they could go in.
Okay. Well, one of the picks that everybody's been mocking to us, and a pick that I think we're in love with, a lot of our top 30 picks are there and available. I've been mocking and doing a lot of drafts. I really would love for us to pick up an extra third or fourth. So a lot of drafts I've been doing, I've been trading back at this pick, and I've been able to get the guy or a guy that I really like, but and pick up some extra picks. So right now, with the pick on the board, I'm kind of torn right now. My gut wants to say they're going to go ahead and make that 12th pick, but I would really entertain some trades right here just to see what's out there.
Let me ask you this question. Who do you think would trade up, and what player would they be trading up for? Because that's the question most people don't ask themselves. People got to have somebody they want to trade up.
Well, can we go over the top according to what you got on the other screen? Who are the top picks? I know Ted is there, and who else we got?
The top people available?
Okay.
We still got Will Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
top corner. We still got Malachi Starks, top safety.
Okay.
We still got Walter Nolan, who most people have as the second best defensive tackle. He's still available. Still got Golden. Loveland, the tight end. People seem to like him a lot. Josh Simmons is still there if you want another tackle. I don't think we picked up Kelvin Banks, did we? Let me see. We did take Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks is gone.
Okay.
A lot of people like James Pierce, the defensive end from Tennessee, who ran a 4.4. And of course, Jalen Walker is there, who can play linebacker or defensive end. And who picks behind us? Miami?
Yes. And then the Colts.
Miami needs a tackle. So would somebody leapfrog Miami to get a tackle?
I know who should leapfrog them to get a tackle. The Bengals should do it, but
yeah,
I don't think they would. But honestly, like I said, in a lot of my mocks, the two teams that have been offering the best trades have been the Bengals, and then secondly the Seahawks. Those have been the teams offering the best trade ups.
Okay, so who would the Bengals trade up for, though? That's the question. Who would they want to trade up for?
They know Dallas wouldn't be taking a tackle because we took a tackle last year. We still got Steele, which I think is personally a post June 1 cut candidate. I really don't think I see a team trading up.
Do you think Will Johnson is a good enough corner for a team to say, I want to get the best corner in the draft, and I want to leapfrog Miami, who just put their corner on the trade market?
Let's see, you got Atlanta, you got Arizona. The Seahawks are good at corner.
Because I think the only way we come out of this with a trade, I think somebody's going to want to have to leapfrog Miami and get Will Johnson.
They got Winfield. I'm looking at the teams behind to see and listening at their corner situation.
Because Miami definitely taking Will Johnson to me.
You think they're going to push the trade with Jalen Ramsey, or they're going to take him in addition and add him to that secondary?
No, I think Ramsey gone.
Okay.
I think somebody's gonna miss out on the corner and make a trade for him after the draft.
Rich in the game. Will that person be Dallas? I can see it.
I don't think they would do it.
Nah, because I don't know if everybody remember Ramsey made some comments a few years back, and I think Jerry Jones still remember those comments. I don't think that would happen. Yeah. So in that case, I don't really see anybody. The Vikings, maybe. If we're talking about corner,
long way down.
Yeah, that's a big jump, and I don't know if they would want to give that up.
I'm saying the only reason the team. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the Vikings did have a pretty good year last year. Gilmore is a free agent. It's a reason why they hadn't tried to sign him back.
Yeah.
They could be looking at corner in the draft. I'm not sure, but I don't know if it's enough for them to trade up.
Yeah, I think the only reason the team would trade up with us is because they want to get in front of Miami, and Miami is either going tackle or corner to me, and all the great tackles are gone. So if you leapfrogging Miami, you're trying to get that top corner. I don't know what the hell Arizona need, honestly. I mean, they probably need a lot.
They do.
I don't know what direction. That's the one team I don't know where they're going.
And like I said, I see a lot of teams in the late 20s that need corners, but for them to jump way up there, they would have to give up a lot. And I don't think, personally, if Dallas trade, I don't see them trading down past 17 or 20 at the absolute latest. I don't see them trading past those picks.
Yeah, I don't see them going past Denver.
Yeah, I definitely don't see that.
Because Pittsburgh does not have a third or fourth round pick, I think. So they only have the firepower to trade up with us.
Right.
Unless they threw in George Pickens in a late pick.
Hey, I would take that and go to 21.
All right, let's go ahead and make this pick, Jeff. And then we're going to talk about some of the draft rumors out here. So 12th pick, who do you think we got?
I think if the draft fall this way, I think we're going to go ahead and select Ted at 12.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I've been going back and forth with this pick. If Ted was gone, I'm definitely trading back or taking Golden at 12. I've kind of changed my stance. I didn't think Golden was a X receiver, but the more I watch him, I'm used to the traditional X being 6'2", 6'3", possession type guy, wide wingspan. But I've kind of changed my stance on that. He could definitely be the X. And for those of you watching, Dallas need an X. We definitely need an X receiver. CeeDee Lamb is going to play slot. Tober to play the Z position. And we don't know what we got in Mingo, so we definitely need an X. So I think we would go Tet right here.
I agree.
But if Tet was gone, we would go Golden or trade back. And I actually think we could trade back and still get Golden, but I think it's gonna go Tet if the draft fall like this.
I'm with you 1,000%. You said it perfect. Everything I would have said. Golden or Emeka. I think you can trade back as long as one of those two fail to you. I think you had a good day.
So maybe you can change my thoughts on Emeka. I think Emeka is a slot.
I think he can play the Z.
Okay.
I think he's talented. I think he's talented enough to play the Z. He won't be a stretch the field Z. But if we listen to what they talk about in all the coaching interviews, you just want your Z to be good enough to beat one-on-one coverage and give you some dig routes, some comebacks, and hit the fade. because you're gonna get a lot of one-on-one quick opportunities.
Right.
The other reason, our our one of our wide receivers coach has a lot of ties with Emeka.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already on Emeka's radar and how to
Okay.
use him going back to high school.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some ties there. If Emeka's there, I think they can make it work. And my biggest fear, and I think the pick is Ted too, by the way. Um, I don't think there's a receiver in this draft good enough to go top 10, including Ted. I think 12 is perfect for him. Uh, my only pushback would be I got two pushbacks. Number one,
Okay.
again, if you listen to the coaches' interviews, it sounds like they want a player like Golden or Ted or Luther Burton. That's what they describe when they talk about the scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Guys who can get open quick, beat man-to-man coverage, run speed routes. Those are the three guys. I don't think Ted can do that, but Ted's just so talented. He gonna just do what he do, and it's gonna be just as effective.
Right.
My second concern is you talked about Mingo. I think they're gonna try to give Mingo a chance to play the X as a starter, just because they invested in him, and Jerry wants to see what his investment can do. That's my
Okay.
biggest fear of why they pass over Ted and go Golden. So you can end up with Golden, Lamb, Mingo.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm really starting to like Golden. I've put him in several different scenarios. 4.2 speed is 4.2 speed. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It definitely goes against traditional Dallas pick. We never draft speed guys, and that's always been my my pet peeve with Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Tyreek Hill type player.
Yep.
And Dallas never. The closest thing we had was with Rocket Ismail, and we didn't draft him.
Yep.
And Joey Galloway, we traded for him.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
bring this stat up every year. In the past 15 years, and you guys can go look it up, the Cowboys have never drafted a receiver who runs under 4.5, except for Jalen Tolbert in 15 years.
Mhm.
All of our receivers have been 6'2", 210, 4.5 speed. You can go all the way back to Miles Austin, Sam Hurd, and work your way all the way up to Michael Gallup, CD Lamb, and Flournoy.
Mhm.
They have a type. They will be going against that type if they draft Golden.
So, question. If we give Mingo the shot at X, you think we would go Golden and let him play Z?
Yeah. I think that would be the option.
So we
'Cause they
just wash
wanna
our
get-
hands with Tolbert.
Tolbert will be the fourth guy. Or if Mingo fails, Tolbert go back to the X like he did last year and hope he can give us 600 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Okay.
Because he played the X a lot last year.
Okay.
And to me, he did pretty good, but I'm expecting better. But 600 yards and 7 touchdowns is not a bad year for a receiver.
Right, it's definitely not.
Like Tolbert.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at they signed Paris Campbell too. Don't forget that.
You know, I have not thought about Perry Campbell since we signed him.
Now, this is the crazy thing. If I were to put a draft comparison for Golden, it would be Paris Campbell.
I can see that.
Now, I know a lot of fans, you go hindsight 2020, Paris Campbell didn't work out. Kind of had a bad career. But if you go back to his days in Ohio State and watch him play, he ran a 4.30. So the height, weight, speed is there. The production was there, or the lack of production, I'll say. So I could easily see them going Ted and then them trying to use Paris Campbell and Turpin and Tolbert and let them kind of rotate at their Z position.
I was about to ask that.
That's what I think is going. That's what I hope happens. But I wouldn't
Mhm.
be shocked to see them go. We gonna give Mingo a shot at the X, and then we draft Burton or Golden as the Z or Mecca.
Do you think Mingo could be the X that we need,
No,
in your opinion? Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
He doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the scheme that they've told me they're trying to run because he can't run routes.
So another wasted fourth round pick that we traded away. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, Mingo is what we signed for the past 15 years.
Right.
He's a slightly faster Michael Gallup. I don't see how that player fits in what scheme they're trying to run. You got to be able to run a route in this scheme. I think Ted's athletic enough to run some decent routes, and he has great separation when the ball's in there. Mingo might surprise me, but I just can't see it.
And Ted has a good catch radius too. He has an extremely wide catch radius.
Yep. Yep. All right.
But yeah,
Go ahead.
no, I was just saying I think Ted will be the pick. But if Ted is not there, Cowboy fans watch us for the trade back and drop back to maybe like a 16-ish. I know you still got to have a trade partner and then get Golden, but pick up like an extra third or a high fourth or something like that. Look for that to happen.
If you be willing to lose based off the draft chart, you will have some teams that'll trade up just because of the value. Because like you said, if the top corner is there and the trade chart says I'm supposed to give up a third round pick to go up to 12, and Dallas is willing to take a fourth round pick because we don't have one, it's a lot of teams that will take you up on that.
I agree.
Even if that's not a guy they just highly targeted. So that is definitely an option because I think if we go back 18 or under, if Tet's gone, I think you can get Golden, Burton, or Mecca somewhere between 13 and 18. So they may just say, we'll take this extra fourth, and then whatever receiver falls to us at 17, we'll be good.
So let me ask you this. If you had your choice between the Mecca and Burton, which one would you go?
Ooh.
Because again, I see Burton as a slot.
Uh-huh. You mean Burton or Golden?
I see Burton as a slot.
Okay.
I see Golden as a X.
Okay.
I see him as a put him up there 1-on-1, run a straight 9 route and carry 2 men or just beat the one. I see Burton as I like the Debo Samuel comparison, and I just don't see where he would fit on our team because we have CeeDee Lamb. You can't take CeeDee Lamb out of his best spot in the slot. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was asking if you were stuck with, because I see both of those, America and Burton, as slot guys. I see it, and I just can't unsee it. Okay. Now, I'm not going to argue against if we get a Becca because of the ties, and I'm pretty sure they can move them around, but I definitely don't see Burton.
Okay.
So my question to you is, Mecca or Burton, which one would you go?
I would go with Mecca. I would definitely go with Mecca. Also, I think the scheme he came from in college is going to tie in very well to the scheme we're going to run. I think we're going to run in Dallas this year.
Okay.
I think Burton, like you said, he's a Debo guy. He's a gadget guy. He can run reverses. You can put him in the backfield. You can run some hitches.
And Lord, I want to bring up this name, but on one of the previous shows, they called him Percy Harvin.
Yeah, they did call. I called him Percy Harvin. Actually, that was me.
I definitely see that comparison.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah.
So, your cousin D already going up to 13. We stopping at 12, D, but we already said it. The Dolphins going corner. So yeah, definitely. We're on board with that one. All right, we're at an hour, 10 minutes. The views are still pretty steady. So thank you guys for joining us. For you guys joining us from X, which looks like quite a few of you. If you get a chance, make sure you go over to DC4L on Facebook, hit that like button, join the group. And also, if you get a chance, go over to YouTube, find DC4L on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and also find me at Bluff City Cowboys. Hit that subscribe button as well. If you're watching from my YouTube, if you're watching from my X page, you can go into my profile, find that link, or send me a message, and I'll gladly send the link over to you. All right, Jeff. So we've gone through the top 12. Let's do a mock draft really quick. Since you're the guest, I'll let you.
Okay.
We'll do a mock draft just to give some thoughts on what you think the rest of the draft looks like outside of the first round.
Okay.
So we're not doing any trades. It's straight draft.
Okay.
Fast Dallas. All right.
Watch the perfect trade jump up there. Watch.
Pittsburgh. Ooh, that is a good trade.
I can't see it. I know it's a future pick. This screen kind of small.
Pittsburgh gives us pick 21, and they give us that first rounder for next year.
Ooh, and what they want in return, 12 and
149, which would be our fifth round pick. Is that fifth?
Okay.
Would that be? That's fifth, yeah.
Yeah,
it's got to be fifth. Okay.
Okay.
The Giants. Okay, they want us to go to pick 34. That wouldn't even happen. I'm not entertaining it. Cleveland wants us to go to pick 33. We wouldn't entertain that either. The Pittsburgh would be. We'll do two. We'll do one with trades, one without. How about that?
Okay. All right. So this one is without.
We'll do this one without.
Okay.
All right. So we're rejecting all trades. So now, look at the board.
If that should do a Sanders left.
That is should do a Sanders left.
Wouldn't Cowboy Nation love that?
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, Cowboy Nation, that would not happen. We traded for Joe Milton. We got Dak. We're not drafting a quarterback. If we draft a quarterback, it'll be the 7th round if we take a quarterback at all. So is there any way you can make that a little bit bigger? I see.
Is that better?
I can't really. Not really. I see Shador, and that's Tyler Warren. And then I see
Jalen Walker.
Then
Matt Golden, Mike Green.
Okay.
Any certain position you want me to check out?
I think I already see my pick, but what corner? What's the top corner available?
Top corner. Jahdae Barron from Texas.
Okay.
Will Johnson went to the Panthers at 8.
Okay. And they're saying Tet went to the Raiders.
Tet went to the Raiders. Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Well, in this case, I would love for us to trade back and still draft Golden, but I don't think we're going to. We're definitely not going tight end, although that would definitely be a Dallas move.
That would be on brand.
If we went tight end, I probably wouldn't watch the rest of the draft at all. I'm just going to be honest. But, I mean, the talent is there, or the perceived talent is there.
Yeah.
I just think with the new offense, we're not going to do a lot of too tight. And if we do, I think we got enough tight ends that can make that work. Walker is intriguing.
He is. I think according to rumors, they really like him.
But we used the second on Nealon.
I don't see why people keep thinking that too. And we used the second 2 years ago on Sam.
We got Sam Williams coming back.
Yep. And we just traded for former first round pick from the Saints.
Peyton.
We just signed the defensive end from Washington.
Yeah. All right. Ain't no sense of playing with it. We're going we'll have to go Golden right there.
Okay. All right, first pick Golden. Go to the second round. All right, we're gonna. Ooh, that's a good trade though.
That is a great trade. That is a great trade, especially for the pick that I want to make second. That's a great trade. But no trades.
Well,
Okay.
you just gotta hope them trades come back again the next time. All right, no trades.
All
Best
right.
player available is Josh Connerly Jr., tackle from Oregon.
Okay.
Is there a certain position you want to go to?
So let's look at D tackle, and then of
Okay,
course we're gonna look at running back.
defensive tackle Tyleek Williams, the
Mm-hmm.
big defensive tackle from Ohio State. T.J. Sanders,
Mm-hmm.
athletic defensive tackle from South Carolina. Darius Alexander,
One of our top 30
athletic
visits.
defensive tackle from Toledo, small school. Alfred Collins is there still. Shamar
Mm-hmm.
Turner's still there.
Okay.
All right. You said you want to go to where?
Running back.
Okay. Running back, you got Caleb Johnson, Judkins, Giddens, Scatterboo, Tootin, Martinez, Dylan Sampson, RJ Harvey still there. A lot of running backs still left.
Okay. It's gonna be between D tackle and running back, but I absolutely love the top two running backs that's left.
Mm-hmm.
If I got or was stuck with one of them, I would be cool.
Let me ask you this question while we're here. So,
Okay.
according to this draft, there was 1, 2, 3. There were 3 running backs taken before Dallas picks. Do you think that's accurate, or do you think it'll be more or less?
You said it was 3 running backs taken?
Hampton, Henderson, Genty. Those are the 3 running backs taken before Dallas picked at 44.
I do not think Henderson going that high.
You don't? Okay.
Unless it's to Denver. I can see Denver taking him, but I think Henderson is a second round running back.
They had Henderson going in the second round to the Patriots, and they had Hampton going in the second round to the Raiders because the Raiders used their first pick on Ted. So if they lead the draft with Ted and Hampton,
they can do auto draft the rest of the draft. God, it's a great draft. All right, so it's plenty of D tackles I like still left.
Before you pick, so you think Henderson will be available at 44 also? Just want to get your thoughts. Okay.
I think he should be.
Okay.
I think
Do you see any other running back going, or you still think it's just Hampton and Genty in the first round?
In the first round, yeah, definitely Hampton and Genty, yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I love Judkins. I really do. But I think I really fell in love with Caleb. And then after listening to it just slipped my mind.
Botch?
One of the people that came on.
You talking about
Dumb. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of dumb name. I really went back and watched some more film on Caleb Johnson, and I really, really like what I saw with him. So I think we go ahead and give us a running back at 44, and then we let the rest of the draft fall to us. So we go ahead and take Caleb Johnson at 44.
Golden and Johnson ain't a bad day for Dallas either.
No, not at all.
All right, so third round, we got our wide receiver, we got our running back. Are we still sticking with offense, or are we going to look at the defensive side of the ball?
I'm definitely looking at defense now. So let's go to D tackle.
Okay. Tyleek Williams, the defensive tackle from Ohio State, still there.
I turn the card in with him and walk away happy.
Okay. Tyleek Williams.
No questions asked.
All right. That's an easy pick. We don't have a fourth, so now we got to wait a couple minutes for this fifth. What are you thinking about in the fifth as we wait for this to finish?
There's a couple of spots in this draft I want to double dip, and in some cases triple dip. I definitely want to double dip at running back, and I definitely want to double and triple dip at D tackle. So now I'm going to be looking at.
We got 2 picks in the fifth. This is our first one. What do you want to look at?
What are the best players available?
Okay. The best player available is Quinn Ewers,
No, we're not going
cornerback.
quarterback this year.
Jordan Phillips, Maryland. Dylan Sampson, Tennessee. Safety from Clemson. Tight end from Syracuse. RJ Harvey is surprisingly still on the board too.
Okay. Uh, just for me and Limbo's sake, let's look at receiver right quick.
Look where?
In receiver.
Okay.
I just want to see if somebody's there.
Jalen Lane, Nick Nash, Isaiah Bond, Andrew Armstrong. Let me go ahead and find a name I know you're looking for.
And he's gone. They finally see the light.
I don't see him in the wide receiver list.
Okay.
Let me see. He went the first pick in the 5th round to the Vikings, Dante Thornton, wide receiver from Tennessee.
Man, if he lasts that long, I would be tempted to trade up to get him.
Trade up, use both outfields to go for Thornton.
I would be tempted to do that, and I would cut a lot of receivers on our team just to have him. I'm serious. I like his intangibles just that much. I really do. Imagine him or let's just say you put Golden at X and you got Dante Thornton at Z and you got CeeDee Lamb in the slot. Who's stopping that receiving core? Who?
Yeah.
You got 2 receivers on the outside that you can literally snap and tap. Literally. Okay. But let's get back to it.
What are you thinking about? First pick in the 5th round. We got another pick coming 20 picks later.
Okay. Do I want to go running back to back? Go see what our top running backs left. You said RJ Harvey was still there?
Dylan Sampson and RJ Harvey are the top 2 running backs.
Okay. And then on our D tackles?
D tackle. And guys, once again, let me know your thoughts on this as we go through it. Jordan Phillips from Maryland, Riley Mills from Notre Dame, Elijah Roberts from SMU. Not a lot of names I'm very familiar with, to be honest. I see a couple of names I know, but they further down.
Yeah, I like Cam Jackson still. He's still there.
I do too. That's another big defensive tackle. I don't think we would go two fat boys like that though.
Hey, why not?
I don't think we would.
we want to solve our run problems, right?
You're right.
All right. So with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and double dip at one of my spots, Sampson or Harvey.
Okay.
I really
like. With your
Harvey.
First one, you drafted Johnson. Well, both of them are completely different from Johnson and me.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I learned from watching Don was I love Harvey, but his injury history and his age is what bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And we did sign 2 running backs, but any one of those could be cut with hardly no cap of him. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to get our 2 running back studs and we're going to go and get Dylan Sampson.
All right. So we taking Dylan Sampson. All right. So now we're at our 2nd, 5th round pick. Are we double dipping a receiver? We looking somewhere else?
Let's see what's at receiver first, and then I want to see what's at safety.
Nothing's changed from receiver. Jalen Lane, Isaiah Bond, Andrew Armstrong, Ricky White, Juice Wells, Jimmy Horn Jr. I don't think Jimmy Horn Jr. will last as long.
Really?
Especially now that Shadua go to the Saints. He's definitely getting drafted 4th round or early 5th.
All right, what about our D tackles? I think it might be time to go on double dip with him.
List hadn't changed.
All right. I'm liking that. So go to the overall board and let's see what we get.
Elijah Roberts from SMU is the top guy available, defensive tackle.
Okay.
He's more of a 3-tech to me.
I did say I want a triple dip in D tackle, but is it time? I'll tell you what.
Okay.
We got our two running backs. We got one D tackle. We got Golden. And who you say our top safety is up left? I do think we take a safety in the draft.
Crawford from Nevada.
So Mickens is gone. Man, I don't know too much about. All right, let's hit corner one time. Zach Frazier, I think he's 6'1".
They got him 6'2". He probably 6'1". Yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell you why we go?
Yeah.
There's a blinking light for me.
Okay.
Jake Majors, the center from Texas.
This early, he's been mocking kind of late to me.
This the second pick in the 5th round.
Okay, he's the top inside lineman on the board.
Second, behind the guy from USC. Unless you want to go guard.
They would allow BB to go to guard, where I think he would be better, although he's not garbage at center. But I would rather use his power at guard. I wonder if we went D tackle with Major still be there.
He's 8th on the overall board, and we picked late in the 6th round.
I think Majors would still be there, but
okay. No, if you think he'll be there, we could try it.
Nah, is Cam Jackson still there? I think he was. Because that would determine that pick for me. At D tackle.
Yep. Still there.
Let's go ahead and go Majors. I take the chance because
we don't have any
D tackle.
We don't have any nose tackles except for Mozzie. So that wouldn't be ridiculous.
I think Cam could play nose.
Cam definitely a nose.
So let's go Majors and see is Cam there on the next pick.
Okay. When I look at this team, and I'm gonna do a draft, what I think the Cowboys gonna do.
Right.
I really think the way they've been making signings, they gonna have a true open competition for their right guard spot. And
yes.
In order to do that, they need to bring in another center in case BB or Hoffman win the guard spot. Because if one of those two win the guard spot, then we only got one center, the other one.
Right. Well, Jake Major was definitely on my list.
Yeah.
I just had him in a lot of my mocks going a little bit later.
I can see that. I can see that. I just think he's a talented center, 5th year guy, came from a big program, played a lot of big time games. I think he could be a plug and play guy if you needed him to play, and he's smart enough to kind of pick up on the scheme quick.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna argue with it.
Tackle.
Yes.
And he is gone.
Cam gone.
Where did Cam go? Yep, he went to the Bengals.
All
right. What position you want to look at now?
I'm still gonna go D tackle.
Okay.
When is it too early for my guy Tonka?
I mean, I don't think it's too early.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get a big fatty. Let's go ahead and go Hemingway right here.
Hemingway. Okay. All right, so we are down to our last three. We got 3 picks in the 7th.
Okay.
No trades have been offered. We got the first pick in the 7th round. Who we going?
Okay, let's go to our all board.
All right, let's look at what we taking so far. We got a wide receiver, 2 running backs, a center, 2 defensive tackles. No linebackers, no safeties, no corners. Um, only one receiver.
Okay. Let's go to our all board, see what we got available.
Okay. Defensive tackle from Virginia, running back from Cincinnati, safety from Marshall, the other defensive tackle from Texas, safety from Wisconsin.
And this is why I probably should have went some other. Like I knew some D tackles was gonna fall.
Uh huh.
Let's see. Let's go to the safeties.
All right. J.J. Roberts from Marshall, Hunter Wohler from Wisconsin, Dan Jackson from Georgia, Maxon Hook from Toledo, Dante Trader from Maryland, Sebastian Castro.
So my guy Trader is still there. Um, I picked him in a lot of our draft because I do think we're going a safety. Our safeties are getting old and slow.
Looking at this list, I think he might be the best cover safety still left.
Right. So let's go with Trader.
Okay. All right. Did I pick him? Yeah, I got him. Okay.
All right. So now, honestly, we can go best player available now.
Okay.
Let's see who is the best player available.
Another
What
safety.
position, nigga? Nah, I don't want to go another safety. How many D tackles we got? Did we have three already?
We got two.
All right, so it's time for my third D tackle.
Okay.
All right, that's the guy from Texas.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
Okay. All right. Got two more picks left.
Jesus. Okay,
Yeah, we got a bunch of picks.
I see. We're not doing those trades. All right, now
Uh-huh.
we go. So what's the best player available now?
Best player available. Defensive tackle from Ohio State, tight end from Texas Tech, D tackle from Tennessee, running back from USC.
Any receivers left?
Uh, best receiver available is Juice Well, Jimmy Horn Jr., Ja'Cory Brooks from Louisville, Elijah Badger from Florida.
So this pick would be either Horn or Juice Wells. What's I'm looking for a height. Give me the height on Wells and Horn.
It doesn't list the height, but I
Okay.
think, let me look it up. I'm almost sure Juice Well should be 5'11", and
Okay.
Jimmy Horn might be 5'9", but let me just confirm.
Okay. I do
They got
like the
Juice Wells listed at 6 feet at Ole Miss, so you could take an inch off of that.
okay.
Uh, Jimmy Horn. They got Jimmy Horn listed at, computer loading slow. Jimmy Horn listed at 5'8", so I thought he was about 5'8".
All right. I like Wells a little bit better. I'm going for prototyping this. So
Okay.
let's go Wells right there.
All right, we got one pick left. Any certain position?
Nah, I can't believe you brought Horn. What's wrong with you, boy? I guess that height scaring everybody away. What, he's still there in the seventh? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy Horn is tiny, Jeff. He about 5'8", a Bill 60. To me,
Okay.
that's what I think his real size is.
Okay. I ain't gonna call no names. I'm gonna say so he's this person's size, but I'm not gonna call any names on live. Let's go to our all board,
Okay.
and then we're gonna do a recap of everybody we got so far, all the positions.
So I will say, looking at what you've done so far, you haven't taken a corner.
This is gonna be a
You haven't
linebacker here.
You haven't taken a linebacker, and you haven't taken an offensive tackle.
I honestly, I think I'll take this time to say this. I don't really see us drafting many offensive linemen in this draft. With all
Okay.
the signings we made, I really don't see us drafting a lot of offensive linemen.
Okay.
That's another reason why I'm glad we've made the signings that we have, because I mean, a rookie is going to be a rookie. Very rarely do a rookie come in and he just all world. So he's going to go through a learning curve. But a veteran has some some games behind him, some experience, and I'd rather go with a veteran, especially on the offensive line, than a rookie any day.
Okay. Well, so while
All
we
right.
here, you brought that up.
Mhm.
Draft rumors. Today, a lot of draft rumors have been saying the Cowboys front office really likes Will Campbell, and
Mhm.
he's the best tackle. And if the best tackle is available, they may be too good to pass up. Then they also saying that the Cowboys really like Kelvin Brooks. Do you believe the hype on any one of those?
You mean Kevin Banks?
Kelvin Banks, my fault. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. No. And if they
I can't.
do,
Yeah.
that means two things. Number one, Steele is going to be a post June 1 cut, and they're going to move Guyton to right tackle if they draft
Mm-hmm.
any one of those. That all that could mean. But I don't believe it. I believe
Okay.
those are smoke screens that Dallas normally throw out around draft time, so they can bait somebody to draft to trade up ahead of them if those players are still there. That's
Yeah.
classic Dallas stuff there.
Yeah. I look at tackle just like I look at quarterback. It ain't no way a draft is gonna go by and the top quarterback or the top tackle is not a top 5 pick.
Right.
The positions are too highly coveted for teams to let the best guy fall out of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see the Will Campbell happening at all.
Nah. However, if it
Mm-hmm.
does, Dallas is gonna sit and wait for the phone to ring.
Mm-hmm.
Because they definitely get some calls. Definitely.
Oh yeah, they would definitely get some calls. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it does do that, fall that way, I would definitely just wait for the calls and the team with the best offer, and I'll drop back and I'll get Golden and get my extra third and be happy.
All right. So you say you don't think they're taking offensive linemen. So you haven't taken a linebacker or a tight end
We ain't
or
taking tight end either.
okay. Well, we haven't taken we narrowing them down. We haven't
Okay.
taken a linebacker or a corner yet.
Okay.
This is the special teams pick right here. So it's gonna be a linebacker or a corner or a
I
safety.
definitely think it's gonna be a linebacker. Let's see what linebackers left.
Okay. We did just trade for Kenneth Murray. We don't know what Overshawn gonna look like. Um, what's the linebacker we got at LSU a couple years ago?
He just crossed Demonte Clark. Demone
Yeah,
Clark.
Damone Clark. He could be on his way out. All we got is Murray and Leofow, really, and the kid we drafted last year,
Mm-hmm.
who I think might be ready to take a step up. The one that made a bunch of plays in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
See, we got Stephen White joining us. Appreciate you tuning in. All right,
What's up,
Jeff.
Steven?
So we look at the linebacker list. We got
Mhm.
we got 2 Oklahoma State guys at the top of the list. Colin Oliver, 6'1", 240. Played a lot of off ball linebacker and edge. Then you got Nick Martin. Both of them kind of undersized, 220-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Got the small school kid, Aaron State, who is your prototypical linebacker, 6 foot, 240, super smart, born leader. Jack Woodard, another inside linebacker who's good inside the tackles. That's about all I got for you right there. The ones I definitely know.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's hard for me to see that screen. Let's go with the small cool kid.
Okay. Aaron Smith. All
Yes.
right.
In Eberflus defense, you're gonna want smart linebackers.
Yeah.
They can pick up the scheme and call out the the defense. So let's go with that.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of that, I forgot They did sign that linebacker from Chicago, who everybody,
Saquon.
yeah, and everybody
Mhm.
talked about how smart he was and how he was one of the unsung leaders of their defense. So that's definitely a Eberflus guy.
Right.
All right. So do they give grades on here?
I don't think they do.
Okay. I think it's a
Yeah.
pretty good draft. If it
Yeah.
felt like this, I mean,
So let's recap it.
okay. Matthew Golden, first pick.
Okay.
I think he fits perfectly what the team is looking for in terms of their position. Caleb Johnson, while he didn't test the way people expected, if you turn on the tape, if not for Jenny, he could easily be the best running back in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if
Agree.
if you go to be honest, if you go tape for tape, Johnson is right there with Genty.
Right.
The only difference is Johnson just ran that 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Tyleek Williams, we only got Mozzie Smith. We need a big nose. Tyleek got that nasty mentality you like. 6'3", 330, long arms. He could push Mozzie to start day one.
Somebody need to.
Yeah. Dylan Sampson, if you listen to what they describe in running backs, I would probably say Dylan Sampson and Tootin are the prototypical type of guys that they've described. Quick
Mm-hmm.
twitch, fast, one cut inside the guards, and can catch out of the backfield. So you can pretty much give Deuces walking papers after that second pick, that second running back pick. That'll be a great combo though.
Great combo.
I think Javonte Williams will be in trouble. I think they really like Miles Sanders, so I think Williams will
That,
probably be in trouble.
that was my next question to ask. If we did those two running backs besides Deuce, which running back out of Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams will be cut? And
I
you just
mean,
answered.
yeah, based off of listening to interviews of the coaches and then listening to the interviews of Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, Javonte was pretty much like, I just need a second home to build my reputation. That's what he
Right.
said. Miles
Okay.
Sanders said, Schottenheimer contacted me.
Uh-huh.
And when I came to Dallas, he was the first person I met. He had a gift for me. He sat down. He recruited Miles Sanders. He
Okay.
laid out the plan. This is how you fit. You were used wrong in Carolina. This is how I'm going to use you. So I feel like Miles Sanders is going to have a big role, whether good or bad, in this game.
So with that being said,
Uh-huh.
with what you just said, if Genty is there at 12, does that change the outlook of whatever he told Miles Sanders and they're gonna take Genty?
Hell no. He ain't that good.
Okay. All right.
I think Miles Sanders is going to have a big role at the backfield. I think he's going to be
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what running back. I think he's going to have a big out of the backfield role for us and
Mm-hmm.
some help between the tackles. But I think he's going to really help on third downs.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Who else we got? Jake Majors again. I think it's an open competition at guard. You got to have another center in case BB wins the guard spot. Remember, our offensive line coach was BB's offensive coordinator in college. So he
Mm-hmm.
knows BB. He loves him. He's going to give him every opportunity to get a guard spot because that's what he played in college. So you're going to need another center who can step in and be a backup behind Hoffman. So I think the
Right.
Jake Majors pick is good.
And if we lose a Zach Martin and you're replacing a Zach Martin with a BB, I don't think. I mean, of course, Zach Martin is Hall of Fame. I'm not taking away from his career, but I don't think the fall off is going to be that much.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't that much last year between Martin and Hoffman
Exactly.
in terms of
So,
last year, not in terms of whole career, but last year.
right. Yeah, definitely not whole career.
Tonka Hemingway, we only got one nose tackle. That's Mozzie. We just picked up Tyleek. Mozzie's probably on his way out the door, so you're gonna need two defensive tackles because Tyleek is not a 50% snap guy. So you're gonna
Mhm.
need at least two more defensive tackles to go 40%, 30%, 30%. So I think
Mhm.
Tonka's a good third guy to put in that rotation. Dante Trader Jr., safety from Maryland, the rangiest safety that was left at the time. We both of our safeties, one of them kind of long in the tooth, the other one's unathletic. So you need to bring in some more athleticism in that safety room. Dante Trader could be a good backup free safety. That way you can let Marquise Bell compete at strong safety instead of trying to fit him in on the free safety side.
Okay.
Uh, Drafted another defensive tackle out of Texas. This one's a little bit more on the athletic side, so he can be a 1-3. You did just pay Osa. You signed Solomon Thomas, but after those two, you don't have anybody. So it never hurts to have a third guy you can get in as a rotation guy or special teams. Juice Wells is. I'm trying to think. Juice Wells could have a role on this team, but I think it's going to be primarily as a Z, just run deep, and if you can get behind the corner, we'll throw it up.
Right.
If you need a second guy on kickoff return with Turpin, I think he'll be great for that. I could see Juice Wells being the type of guy where he'll probably start off on the practice squad for a year or two and then kind of work his way up a little bit and possibly find a role on the team. And then last pick, Aaron Smith, small school, super smart, super athletic, um, tough guy, Eberflus guy.
Yeah.
So I think
Pretty
it's solid.
solid draft, I think. Yeah. I see we just got Lambo
Oh, I
joined
see
in.
I see
Go
we
ahead.
got Lambo joining us late. Appreciate you joining us, Lambo.
Yeah. Sorry, Lambo. I tried to get Dante in there, but he was gone by the time we went back to
Yeah,
draft.
he was already
So,
gone.
you
All
know
right,
how me
Jeff.
and Lambo feel about him.
We are at an hour and 48 minutes. Did
Okay.
you want to do another one or you got to get out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Then you say you were gonna do one as if you what you think the Cowboys is gonna do, or we're
Well,
gonna do another one with trades.
well, I don't want to do three. You know,
Okay.
I don't like long shows and I'm kind
Okay.
of pushing my limit now. So
Okay.
I
So
would rather
pick which one.
you the guest. I'd rather you do one than me do one. I'd rather you do a second one
Okay. So the second one will be with trades.
with trades if it's a good
Okay.
trade.
Okay. All right. Let's roll.
All right. All right. Let's see. Obviously, going to be a trade here. Okay. Go back.
Okay.
So you leapfrog Miami. You get an extra third. That just seemed unrealistic.
I told you these are the types I've been seeing. I've seen this one before. Like I said, don't be surprised if you don't see a Bengals one.
It's only two right now. So this one is trade back to pick 34 and you
Definitely out of
get
the question.
okay. So this one's too good to be true. I guess we'll go ahead and take it.
Okay. Let's before you take it, let's see who's the what's the player that's available. Yeah. So
Genty.
Genty.
Well, I see why they traded up now and gave up a third.
But so that's going to what pick?
14.
Going back to, do you think they trade up to get? I think they.
Who would they be trading up for?
I personally think they're going tight end, but I don't know if you would trade up to get a tight end, and I don't know if you would put Genty with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch, but
Yeah. Well, the other question is, would somebody trade up with Miami once Genty's still on the board? Shamar Stewart winning the top 10. I could see that. I would laugh my ass off if it happened, but I could see it. Will Johnson went to the Jags at 5. I could see that. I think
Uh-huh.
I still think the Jags are the wild card. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Mason Graham to the Raiders. I don't see them passing up Genty, but I do see the logic right there. Everything else, we talked about Ted to the Saints. That's an option. Um, the Bears are missing everything on their line except left tackle. Banks is right there. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought up the Niners got a blinking light at corner, so this is a bit of a reach, but I could understand the logic.
Who did they take? I can see you. I can't see
Ja-
it.
Jade Barron, the corner from Texas.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we got to take that trade. I'm just wondering what are they trading up to get. I
Okay.
just don't see them pairing Genty with Jonathan Taylor. I just don't see it.
So we taking the trade?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what happens. All right. So they took Jalen Walker. And
Genty.
Genty's still there. We got
So
another
this
trade offer.
Okay, let's see what the trade. But this is a no-brainer.
The Chargers want us to go back to pick 22, and they'll give us their second round pick. Okay. The Giants coming back again. They want us to go back to 34. They're giving us next year's first and next year's second. Go back to pick 34.
Nah.
Jerry would never do that. He's not giving up a first round pick.
Not at all. All right, well.
All right. So
one of them said we traded back and got Genty and picked up an extra third.
Yeah, extra third.
Yeah, that's gonna be love there. So let's go ahead and draft Genty.
Yeah. So Lambo asked about the last draft. I'm surprised y'all didn't grab a corner. We considered it Lambo, but Gilmore coming into Dallas on Tuesday pretty much lets us know they kicking the tires. After the draft, he's probably coming back. Because he to me, he left on kind of a sour note.
I don't personally think he should have left.
Right.
I think we should have kept him and retained him.
I mean, Minnesota paid him a lot of money though, so I understand. But I think he left on a sour note. For him to even come back and entertain Dallas makes me think that he'll be assigned here. Don't forget, he played for Eberflus with the Colts. So he knows what Eberflus likes, and he was kind of a veteran over there when he was with the Colts. Lambo said if Genty passed the Raiders and the Bears and get to 12, it's destiny. But we know Genty ain't getting to 12. It ain't happening.
Well, Lambo, we just traded back to 14, and he's still there. So it's definitely destiny.
Let me look. I don't see anything unrealistic here that couldn't happen on draft day to get Genty to 12.
And who did the coach trade up to get again?
They traded up to get Jalen Walker, which I could see because they need a pass rusher.
Okay.
The only one that looks strange is Banks to the Bears. I can understand it, but I think that would be the one I would be scared of.
Remember what I said, though. They got the quarterback, and you always want to protect the quarterback, the franchise. Exactly. So I'm not going to say that's strange.
Yeah, and I know we love Genty. Genty's a great back. It's a lot of good backs in this draft. If you're a team that needs help and it's 15 backs that are all starter capable, and you can get another starter in the first and still get a starter in the second, I can see Genty falling.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking. There's not going to be a better tackle than Kelvin Banks in the second round. The Bears could still come out of this with a Harvey or Judkins or Johnson in the second. So now you got your offensive line solidified, and you get a top running back. So that could happen.
And I'm going to throw this in there.
Yeah.
Swift wasn't just horrible to me.
He wasn't horrible. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, if I was stuck with Swift, I wouldn't be that upset.
I see we got my guy Pap joining us tonight. Pap, appreciate you tuning in.
Pap, what's going on?
Stephen White, yeah, saying Niners will screw us over and over. Don't you put that out there, Lambo, because it could happen. All right.
Jared better not take Warren over shit.
So we taking Genty now, Jeff?
Oh yeah, we could have made that pick 10 minutes
All right.
ago.
All right, let's go to the second round.
All right.
All right. So the Steelers are joining us. They want us to go from pick 44 to pick 83. So that would be the middle of the third round. And they giving us next year's second and next year's third.
Nah.
I don't. Yeah, we need help today.
Right.
The Eagles are asking us to go back 20 picks to the top of the third. I mean, the end of the second.
Mm-hmm.
And they giving us next year's second.
I would consider that, but Dallas would never trade with these.
Let's look at the board. What position you want to look at? Let's look at receiver.
Yes, let's look at that.
All right. Trey Harris.
We're looking at corner too.
Corner, okay.
Lambo, get in the comment. Should we go Dante right here?
Hey, let's try to keep it realistic.
Okay. Hey, that's realistic to Lambo, and I agree with him. But all right.
Trey Harris to me is a better version of Mingo. I think they would just give Mingo a shot.
Okay.
Jayden Higgins is a poor man's Tet. They might consider it. Jalen Royal's been getting a lot of buzz, and he kind of fits what they do too. Okay. But let me ask you this while we're here.
All right.
Let's say we don't take a receiver in this draft, and they roll with They roll with CD, Mingo, Tolbert, and Turpin at the Z fighting it out. And they find a role for Paris Campbell because Paris Campbell kind of said the same thing Miles Sanders did. They sat me down, they told me the scheme, and they said, this is how I'm going to fit.
In that scenario, I'm going to tell you what I would love, but I don't know if it will happen. I would love if we didn't go receiver to have a Coop reunion and just put it all out there and let the best 3 or 4 receivers win. That's what I would love.
Because that's something.
I don't think we'll have.
That's something the fans haven't talked about though, because Coop is still out there. You still got the receiver that was with Chicago last year, former Charger. Allen, Keenan Allen. It could be a team like Pittsburgh who trying to get rid of George Pickens. Denver, I think Denver's going to definitely trade their receiver.
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton. I think he's definitely gone. It's just, are they going to trade him during the draft or after the draft? So it's going to be some receiver options out there available during or post-draft if we decide not to draft a receiver early.
Right. But with these left, I don't see us passing on all these receivers here.
So you think we going one right now, or you want to look somewhere else?
I want to see corners first.
All right, let's go to corner. Okay, we got Azaria Thomas, Wanye's brother. This is a pick that Mendoza made all the time. He's been begging for Azaria in the second.
Okay.
Good press man corner. 6'2", 197. Athletic. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Where you think Jeff should go? What position? Any certain player?
Go to the top picked all.
Jalen Milroe, Donovan Jackson, safety Xavier Watts, Trey Harris from Ole Miss, Landon Jackson, the freaky DN from Arkansas. The linebacker from UCLA is a really popular pick. Caleb jumped. Well, we already took a running back.
I think with this, I think we gotta go ahead and get a receiver out the deal,
Okay.
and that'll solidify that because it's plenty of other spots left, D tackle
Okay.
and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get Trey Harris right here.
Okay. So we drafting Trey Harris. He's gonna be an X. That's
Right.
pretty much all he is. All right,
Well, you know,
Trey
I
Harris.
think we need an X anyway. So
Okay.
all right.
So we gonna roll with Turpin and Tolbert at the Z, or see who we can pick up in the draft. I mean, pick up in the trade with veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Min-
Or
Uh,
bring Coop in.
Lambo said Beck or D Jackson for him. All right, so we're in the third round.
Okay.
Miami offered us to go back to pick 98 and get next year's third. Detroit wants us to go back to pick 102 and get next year's third.
Mm, I would do the Miami before I do the Detroit one, but nah, I think I'm going down to get my D tackle right here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so let's reject them and let's go to D tackle.
All right. Got the D tackle from Tennessee. Got Shamar Turner still here. Uh, the defensive tackle from Nebraska. To me, Turner and Robinson are three techs. Deion Walker, the big tackle from Kentucky, still available. CJ West, the big defensive tackle from Indiana, little short but stocky, and then Jordan Phillips, the tackle from Maryland.
No, let's go ahead with Lot.
Okay.
Well, let's see corner first before I do that. I just
All
want to
right.
be sure.
All right, we got Darian Porter, Iowa
Mhm.
State. We've got Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. Dorian Strong from Virginia Tech, a corner I really like. He's kind of a man guy. Denzel Burke, slot guy for me. Zy Alexander, kind of a physical zone corner. That's pretty much all I got for you. Kobe Bryant.
I like Kobe, but it's too early for him.
I think it's too early too.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get our D tackle.
You see what Lambo put?
Lambo, I'm gonna tell you, I would not be opposed to that. I definitely would not be opposed to it. Is Thornton still there? I know he should.
Of course,
be,
Thornton's still there. It's the third round.
I don't know. He's moved up in a lot of these mocks. He's moved
Nah,
up.
he's still there. That's you. Okay. That's all you and Lambo. He ain't going no third round.
That's like, let me and Lambo be the GM. We'll show y'all how to make a star out of Randy Moss 2.0. But let's go ahead and get our D tackle.
All right, which one we going with?
Let's go with Lot.
Lot, okay. Yeah. All right, so remember we made a trade earlier with who did we trade up with? The Colts. So we got extra third now.
Okay.
So Detroit asking us again to go back to pick 102. Denver asking us to go back 5 picks from 80 to 85, and they give us a fifth this year.
Oh, I like that. But what else we got to give up?
We got to give up this a fifth next year, and we will be giving up our third, and I think this might be a 7th pick. 247.
To go back 5 picks.
5 picks.
Let's see what's available first before
we looking at corner again.
Yeah, let's look at corner now.
All right. Okay, well, only one corner's been taken. That's Darian Porter. All the other corners are still there.
Okay.
Delvin Snelling, thank you for joining us tonight. As much as we all love Travis Hunter, it's not happening.
And let's see what our picks. I know we took Genty, and I will say this: if we get Genty is probably the only reason I don't double dip at the running back unless I get one late or undrafted. If we
Okay.
get Gentry, I don't see the need unless we just sitting there in the fifth and Junkins sitting there or something like that. I don't see the need to double dip if we get Gentry.
All right. So we got Genty, Trey Harris,
Okay.
Omar Norman Lott.
Okay. All right. So we got our running back. We got us an X. Now we working on the B for the line. Okay, so let's go ahead and get us a corner.
Okay. I would not be upset with this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I love Trey Harris. I just when I hear the scheme that they're gonna run, I don't know if he's a good fit. But sometimes you got to take a good player and figure it out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think if we took a guy like a Trey Harris, we would still end up going somebody trade or free agency.
As far as receiver,
Yeah.
even though we still got Migo and Tolbert and Turb, you think we still?
I think so personally.
Okay. All right. Are we on corner? I mean,
we on corners.
You can pick one or take the best one. When I go corners, this is what I judge by. I judge by height, and I judge by. I usually go by speed, but I like my corners a certain height. I like 6'1", 6'2" corners.
Okay. Well, you definitely don't want Jacob Harris then.
Okay. Or now this is another thing. Is he a slot corner?
Yes. He's definitely a slot corner.
Well, that depends on what we're gonna do with Bland. Now I love a scenario where we let Bland go back to slot, but the beauty of it with Bland is he can play slot or outside, which we love. But what position do we really want Bland playing?
I think it all depends. It all depends on. Do you think Elam has a role, or is he just a guy?
I forgot about Elam. So now, definitely, corner to me is not as much as a dire need. I forgot about Elam. I think Elam has a role, and I think that change of scenery is going to do him well.
I don't think Carson gonna be bad this year. Personally, I think Carson fits this scheme perfect. Mm-hmm. He ain't gonna be an All Pro or Pro Bowler, but I think if you need a competent corner, I think he's good enough to be, because this is the same system that he ran in college.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year, again, he was a rookie. The scheme was a little bit different. This year, I think we're going back to straight cover 2.
Mm-hmm.
Man in zone. That's his wheelhouse.
He's gonna play a lot of man under.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he did in college.
Yeah. So, like I said, with that being said, I don't see corner as just we got to have, because let's think on the positive side. Let's think, and we know it's not going to be the first part. Let's say you have Diggs. Let's say you have Bland. You have Elam. You have Carson. And let's say you bring in Gilmore. That's not a bad corner group.
That's a really good corner group.
Right. So that's why I don't know if we just got to have one in the draft unless it's just staring us right in the face.
Mm-hmm. I don't see none of these as staring us in the face corners.
Okay. All right. So let's look at safety then.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know, Lambo. It might be Dante throwing time. I don't know.
Hey, this your draft.
So you're gonna have to help me out with corners. I hadn't really studied corners. Not corner safeties this year, except for like your traders and of course, as a mercy pick Shallow in the 7th, and I've seen a lot of Craig Woods draft. But what about these and RJ Mickens, of course. But what about these safeties here?
They all strong safeties to me.
Okay.
All of them. Maybe Ransom
Mm-hmm.
can play some free, but if I were to take any corner, it'd be Ransom or Mickens, and I think it's too early for Mickens.
Okay.
The
So
other
let's
three
go.
are straight strong safeties.
So let's go to the all board then. Let's see what the
Lambo
best guy
said Bowman
at a corner. I mean, it's safety.
as a safety. Yeah.
I would have to yield to y'all on this because, like I said, I hadn't really looked at safety. Bring the
Yep.
bone.
Yeah. He's a strong. Like I said, I think we need a cover guy.
Yeah, because if we're gonna have a bring the boom guy, we might as well keep what you call Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's pretty much all he is.
And we got Bell too.
Right.
To me, I don't think we need another strong guy, another strong safety. We need a guy who can cover in space.
Okay. So let's look at the all board and see
This
what's the best one.
this a free pick, Jeff. So if you think you want to get Thornton because we don't have a 4th round pick, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I can't, like I said, I can't see it. Give me the top 4. I can see some, but it's not where I can just read it.
Of the all,
Yes.
Jordan Birch, defensive end from Oregon.
Okay.
Ozzie Trapillo, tackle from Boston College. Elick, Matt told me how to pronounce his name. Humanor from Stanford.
That's the receiver.
That's the receiver, yeah.
Okay.
And then Emory Jones from LSU.
That's a tackle.
That's a tackle. Then Chris Paul from Ole Miss. Shamar Turner's still there too.
I personally, like I said, don't see us drafting any old lineman, especially not early. And if we get the luxury of this, we can go ahead and get that linebacker, or I'm gonna go get Dante Thornton. Chris Paul, kind of tell me a little bit about him as far as the traits that he has at linebacker and how does that fit with Eberflus? Is he an Eberflus guy?
I would say no.
Okay.
Only because he's built like a safety to me.
Mm-hmm.
But he made plays in college. But that Ole Miss defense was underrated. Everybody flew around. He's a fly around type linebacker, but I think once he gets in the NFL, because he's small and he has short arms, I think he's gonna have problems inside.
So he's gonna be a Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
he wasn't as good as Nakobe Dean in college, but that I think that'll be a pretty good comparison.
Okay. And Shamar Turner, what is he? Again, I can see a little bit, but I can't.
Texas A&M, looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane. 6'5", 280, 34-inch arms. I think he ran a 4.8. The production in college did not fit the traits. And if you watch him on film, when he was hot, he was hot. When he was cold, he was in an igloo. So his traits are going to get him drafted high. The question is, do you think you could pull something out of him?
And he's a DN.
He played DN in college, but he's probably going to play defensive tackle. I think he's a better. When I look at him, I see Green Bay Packers type guy. So if you look at who are their defensive tackles? Let me look up the names.
I don't know why we said defensive tackle B.J. Rogers stood out, but he's not there anymore.
Not that old. When I look at I'm waiting for my screen. I can't think of nobody's name right now. When I look at him, I think of Rashawn Gary, that type of guy. Rashawn Gary to me is a good comparison. Kind of an athletic guy. Now Rashawn Gary kind of turns it around and became a good player. But that's what I see when I look at Shamar Turner. I don't know what he's going to be in college.
Okay. I don't know. I know Lambo said he got to go, but This might
So
be my
Lambo, before
might
you
be
go,
my
Lambo,
luxury pick.
if you wanna join us tomorrow night as we talk the draft, let me know. And Jeff, same invitation to you. If you want to come back and join us tomorrow, let me know.
Oh yeah, I definitely should be free.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you wanna go luxury pick?
Let's go luxury pick. Let's go Dante Thornton.
All right.
I mean Deontay Thornton. I'm sorry.
All right. We're going to the 5th round now. All right, Jeff. We are at 10:57. Let's try to go through these quick.
Okay. All right.
All right. We're at the 5th round, pick 149.
All right. We
I think we're
definitely should
done
be
the receiver now.
Yeah, we're definitely done and receive. We can be D tackle or corner here or linebacker.
Okay. D tackle. Surprisingly, JJ Piggy is still available, but we didn't take
Lot.
Shamar, did we?
We took Lot.
Okay. To me, JJ Piggy is to be more of a Shamar type guy. I think he got the athleticism, the freak athleticism for defensive tackle, but you just don't know what's going to happen when he get in the league.
Right. Who is the guy that's above Piggy?
Jamari Caldwell. That's a big defensive tackle from Oregon.
Okay.
I don't know any of these corners except for Zah Frazier, small school guy, just a long press corner. You said safety.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of strongs.
I think I'll just wait. I'll wait for Trader.
Wait for Trader. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'll wait for Trader.
Linebackers. I'm not hip to a lot of these linebackers. I know Buchanan's a rangy guy. I do like Buchanan. Jack Kaiser.
We can go linebacker right here.
Okay.
I like Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll suffice there. So they said we hadn't done any linebackers.
All right. So we'll pick 174. And it's third position we go to.
Is it Trader time?
Trader? I wouldn't be opposed to it.
If he's there, I was gonna say that PG still or that's Roberts. Okay.
That's Roberts, yeah.
Okay.
Roberts wouldn't be a terrible pick if you need a safety.
Is he more rangy than Trader?
I didn't watch him enough. I watched a lot of Trader, so I know what Trader is. I know Roberts is more of a free, but I don't know how athletic he is.
Okay. Did we go Trader right there?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Is it anything? Yeah, any D tackles before you do
that? Elijah Roberts. To me, he's more of a 3-tech. Have you taken one? If you want another 3-tech type guy, Elijah Roberts would be a good option. Barrow
was Lott a 3-tech or was he a 1?
No, lots of 1.
It's a 1, okay.
Yeah, lot right at 300. They got him listed at 291 here, but he's bigger than that.
Okay. Unless there's a D tackle you want to take right here. Because I think Trader will last one more pick.
Cam's still there. Tonka's still there.
Ooh, I like both of them. Let's go Tonka.
Okay.
I really want to go Cam though, but we'll go Tonka. All
right, we're at pick 204.
If Cam gone, it's Trader time.
Thank you, William Wiggins. We agree with you, but we just going with the board gave us.
Hey, William, if we get Genty where we got him and pick up an extra third, we pick Genty and we can do auto draft the rest of the draft. I don't care.
All right, Jeff, we got 2 picks left. We're in the 7th round.
All right, did we get traded right there?
We got Trader.
Okay, all right.
So far we got a running back, wide receiver, 2 D tackles. We got 2
Another
wide
one.
receivers, 2 running backs. We got one running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 D tackles, a linebacker, and a safety. No
Okay.
corners, no offensive line, but you said you're not going offensive line.
Right.
So we haven't gotten a corner, and we haven't gotten a defensive end. And do you want to consider a second running back, or are you just gonna roll with Genty?
What second running backs left?
A bunch of
Let's talk.
speed guys. I see Jaden Blue, 4'3". Taj Brooks plays faster than he is. Trevor Etienne, speed guy. Jaquindon Jackson from Arkansas.
And we got 2 more picks left.
Jaquavius Marks is another speed guy. Yeah, we got 2 more picks.
Okay. One of those definitely can be a running back. I think Trevor is going to be one there at the end, or either he might even go and draft it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a lot of backs still left to me.
But if we don't want to wait, let's go ahead and get. You said Blue was available, right? Top
Yeah,
of the
Blue,
left.
4'3" guy. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get Blue. Let's get some speed on the team.
Okay. Last pick.
All right. So the last pick, of course, with me would be a D tackle, or either we can
3
do
D tackles.
Yeah, I told you that's one position I would triple dip at. But let's look at D end and see if we got just a raw edge rusher that can kind of develop into something else.
I don't know any of these defensive ends. I can
Okay.
read what it says. Morgan State, 6'2", 288. Nope, that's not the end we looking for. 6'2", 249. Had 9.5 sacks last year. Okay. Texas kid, 6'3", 256. I think he had 6 sacks last year.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame kid, not a lot of production. I think he's a big defensive end. Boise State, they like going there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big defensive end too, but he gets a lot of sacks.
Okay. And let's look at all one more time, and then we'll probably go.
You don't want to look at tight end?
Not at all. Yeah, let's draft the Michigan tight end.
Okay.
I'll just play it. What we got on all? Who the best player available?
Tackle from Rutgers, defensive tackle from Texas.
All right, let's go ahead and get my other defensive tackle from Texas.
All right.
We're going to totally revamp our D tackle. We're going to stop the run if it's nothing.
Oh, shit, we got 2 more picks. Damn.
We got 2 more picks.
All right.
Is that Kobe King?
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get him.
All right. All right, we got 1 pick left.
Okay.
We haven't taken a corner. You want to look at corner? I'm
Yeah.
sure I won't know any of them.
As long as they 6'1".
All right, he's 5'10".
Yeah, I don't like short.
Florida probably gonna be tall. He says 6 feet. Okay, North Carolina corner 5'9". No. The Rutgers 5'11". South Carolina. Don't know him. I don't see a name that I know.
Okay.
Other than a kid from Florida, because he played forever.
Okay. Like I said, I don't think. I mean, if we draft a corner, it's a luxury pick. I don't think we just have to.
Okay.
Especially like I said, if we're gonna sign, not even just Gilmore, even if we just sign a corner, I don't think that's just gonna be something we got to have.
Okay. Just look at these offensive linemen.
So
Couple.
yeah, any centers left? 'Cause I know we didn't take a center in this one like we did in the last one.
If I was in this situation, I'm looking at the top five. I would
Hmm.
probably just wait the free agency. I'll
Yeah.
wait after the draft, and I would do like you said, get a corner for special teams. I'll probably take the kid from Florida.
Okay, go ahead with.
Smart, lot of experience, play in the SEC. Maybe he could pull something out of him. So, which
Um,
draft do you like more?
this one.
You do? Okay. What's the reason
Uh,
for that?
because we got Genty and Blue. I mean that alone. If we cut every running back on our team, I believe we're better with those two. We got two dynamic receivers. Um, I could easily see them being the new X and Z in any
Couldn't argue with
situation.
that.
Uh, we got plenty of big guys up front, so we should be better against the run. Um, we got a range of safety. With all the signings and trades that we have, I think this would make us a complete team. We would definitely be competitive, and I think this would put us. We would compete with the Eagles with this, and probably beat them.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
but if
right.
we walk away with this draft, I would be extremely happy.
All right. So you okay? We didn't take a defensive end or offensive lineman.
Yeah, because it's gonna be some more cuts, and then like you said, when we took Fowler, we got Fowler back. That added a lot of versatility to us because Parson is gonna be our number one rusher. We just need somebody that can bring it a little bit more on the other side or whatever side that he's not on. I think Fowler could do that. I think Nealon is gonna show a little something. We got Sam Williams coming back this year, so hopefully he'll be somewhat healthy and give us some. Um, I think we would be all right at end.
Okay.
And then you kind of mentioned that sometime in some scenario we could kick Solomon Thomas out at the end as well. We
Yep.
still got the kid from New Orleans that was the
Yep.
first round pick. So yeah, I don't see with the like I said with the signings we made, we don't have to go into a spot saying we need this. I believe if we went in with the players we got right now and did draft, I believe we would be good and competitive.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
William Wiggins, last comment of the night. Build the trenches in free agency. Take wide receiver, running back, linebacker, DB in the draft. Sign Will Hernandez right after the draft. So
Now I agree with that one.
that's pretty much the philosophy Jeff took in both drafts. William Wiggins. So y'all are both on the same page.
Right. Yeah,
And we hadn't even talked about Will Hernandez anymore.
I know. So, last question before I know you're gonna be ready to get out because you don't
All
like
right.
doing long shows. Um, After the draft, what position? I know it's gonna be some cuts and it's gonna be pending on who get cut. But what position do you think we would bring in after the draft? Like, regardless of the draft, what in the second, third round of free agency, what position you think we would be trying to bring in,
Regardless of the draft.
regardless of the draft? Like, is it a player out there that you think that's either a free agent now, and then you know it's going to be people that's going to get cut that you think Dallas will be looking to bring in? And you probably will be better toward position.
Uh I still think that the Stephon Gilmore coming to Dallas on Tuesday is very telling.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday is workout. Regardless of what BS they tell you, every team in the league, Tuesday is workout and interview prospective free agent day. If he came in there on a Tuesday, that means they have interest in him and he has interest in them. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely watching Stephon Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
And you saying regardless of position, I would also pay attention to Marcus Williams. He's still
Mm-hmm.
a free agent. I think Justin Simmons may be a free agent right now, still too.
I think he is.
So those are the three names that I would be looking at. And also, we haven't talked about this in a while. Shaq Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the four names that, regardless of what we do in the draft, I think one of those four is going to be here. Now, if we looking at what we do in the draft, I would pay attention to Will Hernandez. I pay attention to Keenan Allen. I believe Tyler Lockett is still available.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to take a guy like a Trey Harris, pay attention to Tyler Lockett or Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
If we took a guy like a Golden, pay attention to Amari Cooper or a trade for Cortland Sutton. That's kind of where I'm at. I think if it's George Pickens, it would have to be during the draft because I think they would want too much for him straight up, and he gonna want to be paid a contract. So I think if we just completely say screw wide receiver and just take some dude on day 3, that's when you look for a George Pickens trade. I think if we take a Golden or a Tet, you can cancel George Pickens.
Gotcha.
That's kind of where I'm at. So
okay.
I would be shocked if Gilmore signs for $5 million or less. I'd be shocked if he's not in Dallas. Now, if he come in and talk about I want 10 again, he better go find somewhere else. But if it's 5 or less, if it's 5 or less, I would be shocked if that contract ain't in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. Gun to your head, Jeff. Okay. Who's the pick tomorrow?
Golden.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's pending Tet and Gentry is not there. If Tet is there, Tet is the pick. If Gentry is there, of course, Gentry is the pick. But I think those order? 3 picks, yes, Gentry, Tet, Golden. Gentry, Tet, trade back, Golden.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay. So William Wiggins saying Gilmore, Hernandez, Coop. Do you think Coop will come back?
I personally don't think. I would love it, but I think Coop was so hurt by how they did him at first. I mean, I don't think he would come back.
Yeah, I don't think we could offer him enough money that somebody else wouldn't offer him. Like if we offered him $9 million to come back, I think it's another team that didn't disrespect him that offer $9 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we were to get Coop, it would have to be a number where other teams ain't giving him that right now.
Right.
Who else I about to ask about? Oh, this one's off topic. Better chance Coop goes back to Dallas or the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Damn. You really don't like it.
Well, I mean, I'm just not speaking from a guy that's in his feelings. When Dallas traded, Coop loved Dallas. He suffered in Oakland or wherever it was when they were the Raiders, and he was so happy to get out of there. And you can see him when he played for Dallas. You know, Coop didn't show much emotion.
Mm-hmm.
When he played for Dallas, Coop was taking his helmet off, pointing, doing stuff. He was doing stuff he didn't do in Oakland. He thought he was at a home in Dallas, and then they gave him the contract. And then after a year and a half or something like that, they traded. And I think that really, really hurt him, you know, because if you look at it, anywhere else he's been since he's been to Dallas, it's like his heart ain't really been into it.
Yeah.
And he's one of those diva receivers, not, you know, he's not a TO or something like that. But when he's not into it, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe he's been, especially not in Buffalo. That was a horrible fit in Buffalo.
Horrible fit.
Horrible. I mean, I don't think he wanted to be in Buffalo at all.
Yep.
Didn't want to be in Cleveland, but you know, at least he
Yeah.
still had his money when he was in
That was out of his
Cleveland. But in
hands. Yeah.
Buffalo, in Buffalo, he just nah.
Yeah. I didn't mention Eric Kendricks. I think he going to the Niners. We got lucky that our defensive coordinator last year talked him out of signing with the Niners. I don't
Right.
think Lightning gonna strike twice. They need a replacement linebacker. He was already there last year. He gonna slide right in as a starter now that they let
Lost
the other
Greenlaw.
they let Greenlaw go. He's gonna slide right in and be the starter
Right.
right
I agree
beside
with that.
Warren.
I agree with that.
All right, so that's pretty much all we got. This is probably
I
our
agree,
longest.
William. I just read his last comment. I agree.
This is probably our longest show ever. So thank you guys for joining us. The views stayed consistent. Actually, they went up a little bit over the past hour. So thank you guys joining us on X. I definitely appreciate all your support. Everybody else, be sure to join us tomorrow night for our draft show. We may get Jeff back on the show again with us tomorrow, but we will definitely have Amanda Foster here joining us to talk all things draft leading up to the Cowboys pick, wherever that pick may be. If you have not joined the DC4L group, there is a post that's active right now. Put in your top 10 for tomorrow, and the first person to get the most right will win a Cowboys jersey. So be sure to take advantage of that. And if you can't join us tomorrow for the draft, be sure to join us every Wednesday night at 8:30 Central Standard Time for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. We are gearing up now. The off season is rolling. So after the draft, we're going to do a draft recap. Then after that, we're going to do an undrafted recap. And then we should be rolling right along in the mini camps, training camps, OTAs. Should start hearing news about Micah. You should start hearing a lot of updates about where the team is headed in terms of the scheme. So we got a lot to talk about this offseason. Make sure you guys lock in with us. Before we go, Jeff, you got any closing remarks?
Yeah, I would just like the Cowboy fans. We're in a really, really good spot. I know a lot of times we get upset because we don't sign the big names, the big sexy names and stuff like that. And it's reasons behind that. A lot of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with. But just think back to when we signed Brandon Carr for that big deal. Brandon Carr was a solid player, but he was not worth his contract. So don't get frustrated when we don't sign all the, like I said, the big sexy names. Look for your free agency to fill the holes. And as long as you get good, key, solid players in free agency, then it opens up your draft and make it wide open where you can pretty much go best player available. It's pretty much like playing with church money. I'm playing with the house money, not church money. I'm sorry. Playing with the house money. You know, you get to do those luxury picks. You can double dip in places and, you know, you can strengthen strengths. So, like I said, we made a lot of good moves in this offseason. Nothing to just write home about, but just like you take running back, for example. If we don't get a top running back, a combination of a rookie running back with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, they're going to make a pretty good running back duo. I mean,
it's going to be way better than last year.
Exactly. You know, so like I said, don't get upset because we didn't make the big splashes and all this stuff. You know, a lot of times those contracts are fluff. And then a lot of times those players don't live up to the contract they sign anyway. So, you know, we're in a good spot, though. So I'm looking forward to the draft tomorrow. Again, if we get any combination of Genty, Tet, Golden, I'm good. I think the rest of it we can kind of play that, and we get some fat D tackles that can help us stop the run. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And let me say this: I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff.
Okay.
I just want to put this out there for the fans who are disappointed or feeling like the sky falling. Let's talk about the Eagles real quick.
Okay.
People are upset about Schottenheimer. Okay. Who did the Eagles have last year? Kellen Moore. Does anybody in Dallas think Kellen Moore is a good coach? Very few, if any.
Right.
Look at the Eagles' free agent pickups last year. They picked up what's the tackle from the Jets that ate itself out of New York? He played guard.
Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton ate himself out of the Jets organization. He was on the street looking for a job. They picked him up, turned him into a guard. He became a borderline All-Pro. Look on the defensive side of the ball. They signed Zach Bond off of the Saints practice squad, and he became an All-Pro. So it's not like the people are saying, well, the pickup from the Saints is a bad pick. The pickup from the Titans is a bad pick. You don't know what these guys going to turn into when they get a different change of scenery. And these are some talented guys. They were former first-round picks. You put them in a scheme that fits them, and you put them in a better franchise than being stranded in New Orleans or stranded in Tennessee after they let the offensive line and the coach and Derrick Henry go, you're gonna get a different outcome.
Yeah.
So don't give up on the guys that we picked up. And then looking at the draft, the Eagles picked up 2 corners last year in the draft. Both of those dudes balled out. So don't be upset if we don't get the guy you want, because the guy we get could come in and make a big impact on the team. So just remember that as we go into the offseason. These may not be the names that you wanted, but they could turn into the names that we need.
Yeah. And remember, that star means something. Yeah. These guys want to play for their star. They want to have their star on the side of their helmet.
Yep.
So that could be all the motivation they need. It just had their star. Think about what Elam said. Elam pretty much said he was bored out of his mind in Buffalo. He pretty much said that. And he's excited to come from the governor to the star. So, I mean, that may be the confidence he needs. Who knows? He might have been playing like that in Buffalo to get out of Buffalo. Who knows?
Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So you got to think about stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm very satisfied with what we've done. I think we made some solid additions, and I'm excited about what's to come this year. I know it's going to be better than 7-10. And I know we're not doing predictions yet, but I definitely know our schedule. I mean, our record is going to be better than 7-10, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, last year we played a number one schedule. Dak missed half the season. Martin was pretty much out the whole season, in my opinion. Right. And our starting running back, who didn't play but half the season the year before, was our 4th running back. So it's a lot to look forward to this year.
Diggs was hurt. Well, Diggs and Bland was interchangeable. One came in, one left. So, yeah, we had a lot of stuff that go wrong last year.
We had a lot. Left tackle didn't know his head from his ass. So we just got to hope stuff like that can improve in a second year. So it's a lot to look forward to. And it all starts tomorrow night at 7 p.m., 2025 NFL Draft, where we decide the future of this team. So be sure to join us tomorrow night. Join us every Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time, for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. And if not, let's go Cowboys. Thank you guys for watching.
All right, see you guys.